You want the whole package? T-Mobile has it.
Plus, America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. The Fans Draft Party is Thursday, April 23rd, live from the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill starting at 6 o'clock. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome in. This is our final Character Concerns NFL Draft Special before the draft. Here on 96.5 The Fan, my name is Christian Lucero, joined by my guy, Jay Binkley. And our NFL Draft coverage here on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Bink, how you doing today?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Some inside information, Chris. From what I've been hearing, the best player available is who they're going to grab. So it's best player available.
We're now at the time.
Silly season is.
We are at the
now.
time where we have the worst draft intel, worst draft takes.
Well, I'm really hearing offensive line is.
Yeah, like really? You're sitting there believing Andy Reid
every day, every insider.
What Andy's saying right
every
before
insider
the draft?
is saying something else. I'm really hearing defensive end from the Chiefs. Another one saying, really hearing the wide receiver position is kind of something to watch out for. And then there's another one.
Todd McShay has like five conflicting things about the Chiefs.
Really hearing the Chiefs are moving up. That's what I've been hearing. Then another one. Well, offensive line. You heard Andy Reid the other day. They won offensive line.
There was a thing yesterday.
Silly season.
There was a thing. I think it was yesterday or this morning. Like the Chiefs could trade up or trade down.
Yeah.
I was about to curse. Obviously, duh. They could do both. Yes, they could absolutely do either of those things.
They could do everything, and they could just stay put as well.
Yeah, like we are at the point. Like I knew that this had jumped the shark when Tom Pelissero was on Rich Eisen earlier today, and he was saying that Carson Beck could be a first round pick, and I'm like, okay, just let's start the draft now. Like
that is Will Levis energy.
Yeah, I was like, Roger Goodell, just come up to the podium now and start the draft. I don't care what time, just start it now. I'm tired.
Does that not have Will Levis energy written all over it?
It is worse than Will Levis. I mean,
I was going to say that might be disrespectful to Will Levis.
He started gaining some steam about 3 weeks out.
This is like who was the kid they took in round 5? It's like Aaron Murray energy.
Murray?
Oh, yeah.
It's like Aaron Murray type stuff right here. Yeah, Aaron Murray could be a first-round pick.
AJ McCarron, like they always hype these guys up with the very
He's
last
coaching
second.
the UFL now.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. He used to be
I saw that. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Look at AJ.
He was the Battlehawks quarterback for a little bit.
Yeah, he was. And,
The old Battlehawks, baby.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's jumped the shark. We're at the point now where I'm done with all the quote unquote intel because none of it I think is reliable now. Like, don't believe what Andy Reid says. Don't believe what Todd McShay said because Todd McShay is saying 5 things. Oh, the Chiefs could take this. They could take this. Oh, they could take this and this.
I will say this: when teams hear this stuff, they love it. They sit back in their office.
I guarantee you,
with
Veach
the
and Andy
cigar,
are laughing.
They put their feet up and they go, listen, they all think we're taking Tyson or they all think we're taking Bain. And they put their feet up. This is what other teams are doing too. They're doing the exact same thing. They're floating it out there. Now, they're not having pool parties like Mike Vrabel, but they're floating information out to insiders about intel.
Yeah, like I said, I absolutely think that the Chiefs are engaging in a master class in smoke screening because a lot of people are buying way too much into the things that they say, especially the obvious things that they say. It's like, we need 2 defensive tackles. We're going to get 2 defensive tackles in the class. Really?
The one silly one we haven't seen is the Chiefs are taking a quarterback. It's like the one thing.
Well, we haven't seen any intel, but we've seen someone mock a quarterback.
We saw
to the
Ty
Chiefs.
Simpson.
Yeah, we saw that idiot in Nashville mock Ty Simpson to the Chiefs.
Who was it? Was it Collinsworth a couple years ago that mocked the Chiefs' Joe Milton at the end of the first round?
I don't know.
Sims.
But I saw.
And that sounds like something Coward. You said Coward or Collinsworth?
Yeah.
That sounds like something.
I did see an Eli Reardon in the first round to the Chiefs.
I saw that. I saw that on the rundown.
That did happen.
I saw that on the rundown. I was like, why'd you even put this on the rundown?
Because I like silly things.
Why'd you even put
it's silly season?
I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that at face value. Whoever wrote that mock has probably never done a mock.
Now,
before.
I personally like Eli Reardon, but not in the first round.
I don't like him in any of the first 4 rounds.
Maybe 6th round.
Like he should be buried on day 3 if they grab him.
Now that's somebody knows an agent.
Like I'm gonna tell you this right now: if the Chiefs draft Eli Reardon at 29, I'm calling for Veach's job. I do not. I don't care if they take Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson at 9. I'm calling for his job if he takes Reardon at 29. I will all weekend. I will call for his job if he takes that guy at 29.
The rest of the draft will not matter.
I don't care. I don't care how great it is.
They can nail every other pick.
I don't care if he takes Caleb Banks or Zion Young or somehow T.J. Parker falls to 40. I'm still calling for Veach's job if he takes Eli Reardon at 29. Like that's just or a quarterback. If he takes a quarterback at any point in this draft, like Veach, we got to have a talk, man.
Well, I just love all the mock drafts we're seeing from the quote experts, and 9 and 29, not receiver. 40, not receiver. 74, not receiver. And my whole point is, who is going to catch the football? So it must not be a problem. That's the Mahomes effect. You got Patrick Mahomes, you don't need receivers, I guess. You have an elite quarterback, you don't need someone to catch the football. But we forget that going into 27, because you plan things out in advance, you got nobody. You don't have your Travis Kelce. It's led the team in yardage. Him 1 or 2 the last decade. Don't have that. You got Xavier Worthy, and you got Tyquan Thornton under contract. And Tyquan Thornton they can back away from for year 2. So we'll see what happens. But they don't have anybody under contract at those positions. That's a very thin position.
So, I mean, there's obviously been a lot of talk about the Chiefs making a trade up or down, either way. How comfortable would you be in the Chiefs making a trade up? We talked about this on our on the podcast on Monday because rumors have been swirling around about the Chiefs moving up.
Well, obviously, it would be Bailey or Reese. They did have both of them in, but that didn't mean anything. Those are typical smoke. Oh, the Chiefs are bringing Arvell Reese in. Oh, the Chiefs are bringing David Bailey in. Oh, the Jets just they actually cut the visit with David Bailey. But that means nothing. That means absolutely nothing.
I think the Jets cutting it with Bailey might mean something.
I don't know.
Because
I think it's more of a smoke screen.
What's the point of smoke screening, though?
I think they're going to take him.
But what's the point in smoke screening,
just
though?
Because they don't need to because they're picking second.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no point in it.
Yeah, there's no point to bring him in either. If that's your dude and that's the guy you talk to.
I mean, I think you
combine,
should. I think you should bring him in. But if you want it, because you want to do your
now, as far as the Chiefs trading up, though, that was your question. As Chiefs traded up, if for some reason it was really David Bailey you loved, And number 2, the Jets take Bailey. Then that kind of runs that move up to the Cardinals because your dude is now gone. Now, could the Chiefs wait until that little 8-minute, because the first round is 8 minutes, now 10? Or let's say they really liked Arvell Reese. And that was the guy. They think they can put him on the edge. They think do hybrid stuff with him, can put him all over the place. Love the athleticism, love Arvell Reese. Now that Ohio State's on the table, obviously, from last year's pick. So they really like him. Could there be a situation where they really wanted to move up? Yes, that could happen. I think the optimal thing is the Chiefs to move back and accumulate more picks either in this draft or in 27 because of so many holes with the edge hole, the wide receiver, defensive line depth. They need to work on the offensive line as well. Corner is obviously a need too. There are so many different needs for this team, I feel, than to sell out for a particular player.
I think if the
what
Chiefs,
they need is a guy to fall, like a Jeremiah Love to fall.
I think if the Chiefs trade up, they're taking Jordan Tyson. And that's not going to be popular with a lot of people because of the injury problems. But I think Jordan Tyson is a lot more popular than people believe. The highest he generally goes on mocks is 9 to the Chiefs. But on most mocks, he's generally somewhere in the mid-teens, generally somewhere in that Ravens, Rams range of picks. And, usually it's like bottom end 16.
But after that workout, he started getting a lot of buzz.
He started getting a lot of buzz, but he's still not getting the kind of buzz that like Carnell Tate is getting right now. So he's not like, there's still a lot of people that don't consider him the top receiver in this class. But there's a lot more people that consider him the top receiver in this class than they did before the workout.
There's people that say if he's healthy, he would have been the top.
And I agree with that. I think he would have been easily been the number 1 receiver in this class if he had played the entire year instead of missing those 3 games at the end.
You talk about how people are lower on him than he's probably going to go in the mocks and such. He's now minus 370 to go in the top 10.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it is now like
that's what I'm saying.
The books are onto something like that. It's pretty evident that teams think higher Tyson than these mocks have led everyone to believe.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I think if they move up, it's to get him.
It's very likely.
Because we've talked about a lot. Like, Chiefs need a receiver bad. They need a receiver bad because you don't know what you're going to get with Rashee Rice. That's the big problem to me is Rashee Rice, you can't trust it. Like, I can't trust on the field because drops and issues are running. I think Chad O'Shea can help him out with that, but still, we don't know. Still very questionable as far as his progress goes. And then outside of that, I mean, obviously off the field, very questionable decisions. So it's like, do you trust Rashee Rice to be here in 27? I don't. I really don't trust him to be here.
Well, you shouldn't because, 2 years ago, you can't help it, but he was injured against the Chargers.
And even before that, he had the street racing incident.
He had that good year his rookie year. That was a good year that he had.
Yeah.
And when he came back from the suspension, he was very good. He's one of the best fantasy players in the league for about 5 weeks. Did get hurt there at the end of the year and had his problems with the drops as well. But again, this wide receiver room has looked good on paper the last 2 years. It looked good in St. Joe when people drive up I-29 to Chiefs training camp. It looks great. And then football happens, and then all of a sudden Worthy goes down on play 3 in Brazil. He's gone. Rashee Rice was gone for the first 6 games. All of a sudden you don't have anybody to catch the football. And in Hollywood Brown, by the way, the year before, if you go back to 24, he gets hurt in the first preseason game. He's gone. Rashee Rice hurt in game 4, and all of a sudden you're depending on your undersized Xavier Worthy in the first round to step up, which he wasn't ready to step up in the beginning. Now, to his credit, he got better and better as the year progressed, and last year was dealing with injuries. But again, the wide receiver room looks good on paper the last 2 years, but they don't play football on paper. And availability has been a problem for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and, there's going to be people that, he had injury problems, and that's a very valid point to bring up, but you have a top 10 pick, and you have the opportunity to get the best available player at a position of need. And, of the guys that would be in their range to take in the top 10 that they could use, I think Jordan Tyson is probably the closest to a sure thing you can get aside from the health. As far as like on-field talent and production, he's probably, I think, has the best chance to be a superstar of the guys that they could, even if you want to say like a David Bailey, because I have my question marks about Bailey and Spag's system. So then it becomes, Or even an Arvell Reese if the Jets want to go Bailey at 2 and the Chiefs trade up to 3 or 4. I still have my question marks about Arvell Reese in this system.
Well, there's a lot of question marks even with Reese. Can he really be an edge?
Can he really be? Because there's a lot of people that are questioning
can he
if
really
he can be an
that?
edge.
That's the question. Man. Ruben Bain, as Matt Miller was pointing out today with Rich Eisen.
Yeah, little arms.
Last 27 years, nobody with his arm length is gone in the first round of the draft. That would be an outlier. Also, in the NFL, nobody less than 31 inch arms has double-digit sacks. No one's ever got 10 sacks that has less than that. So if he does that, that would be an outlier. So maybe you think he can do it, and he is fun to watch. But you're saying he could do it, so you're going against gambling. You're going against those 2 aces that are on the board that you think you're going to draw out there on the river. It's what you're doing because you're going against the grain. You're going against, again, having a top 10 pick. You're banking on the unknown.
Yeah.
If that's really what you want to do, I don't think top 10 picks are based on the unknown.
Yeah. And look, there is an element of the unknown, but in this year, for sure, I think the only player you can look at and say he is as close to a guaranteed being a good player in this class is probably Caleb Downs. That's the only one I feel that way
or
about.
Jeremiah Love could end up at some point.
Possibly Jeremiah Love, too. He would be like right after
like Mendoza.
Downs.
I have no idea.
I think he's probably going to be a decent quarterback, but I don't think he's a star quarterback. None of the edge rushers I feel strongly about where I'm like, yeah, this dude's going to be a star. Like, I don't feel like
I would not be shocked if somebody picked in the 20s is just as good as an edge. In the top 10.
That's what I think, and that's the reason why I'm not a big Bain guy.
Even Veet said that. He said these guys are so close.
Because I agree with that. Because I think T.J. Parker, I think Keldrick Falk, I think Zion Young, I think those guys have just as good a chance to be great in this league as Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain, and David Bailey. Even though those guys were more productive at the collegiate level,
it's not a stretch. This is the way drafts work.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of misses.
And that's the reason why I'm not trade up and go get an edge rusher because I think the guys at 29 are around the same level, a little bit less, but around the same level as the guys that you would be picking top 10.
Hence, that makes it tough to trade back when there's not that surefire guy for someone to trade up for.
Though, all it takes is one team having the conviction to move up.
There's not that Mahomes to trade up and get at 10.
Right, but at least in our view, there might be, because Mahomes, there were teams that could have used a quarterback that passed on Mahomes because they didn't like him.
There might be a superstar. Lamar Jackson went 32nd.
Yeah.
Was he better than those other quarterbacks went ahead of him? Yes, he is.
And then you have a team with conviction that decides to move 17 spots up to go get that guy. That could happen this year, and maybe the Chiefs end up moving back a few picks because maybe someone falls and a team is like, hey, we really like this guy. Chiefs are looking to move down. We'll send them a little bit extra draft capital to go get that 9 and get the guy that we like.
I think Friday night's going to be a lot of fun for the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. Friday night will be fun. I mean, I think tomorrow could be fun depending on how things go as far as, trades and whatnot.
Saturdays where you build that meat of your team.
Yeah. So, my thing is don't sleep on Jordan Tyson if they move up. We got to see. I mean, the price has got to be right. It can't be the same price as it was moving 9 to 3 or 9 to 4 in the past because the guys who are top 5, this ain't that type of class. It ain't an elite top end class. It's pretty good in the middle, but at the top, it's not that elite. Like and we know that because the quarterbacks in this class, not that great. Like your best quarterback is probably going to be a game manager. So that kind of shows you the value of what this class brings. Coming up next, Andy Reid spoke to the media. A lot of interesting things that he said, and we'll play that coming up next here on The Character.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important, trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet. Rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week. New segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back. We're better. Let's get it.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where fine jewelry is always crafted with care no matter the price. Mother's Day, birthdays and graduations, weddings and anniversaries, the new job you got, and even the one you didn't. Give a birthstone necklace, a heart-shaped locket made in Italy, or high-quality diamond studs you can trade up every year. At Shane Company, we have something for everyone, because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. We're in the Midwest, where tornadoes are real and our water table is high. So we practically tap a well every time we dig a basement. As a plumber, I can tell you that water always wins. This month, we have a sump pump special. $200 off a main pump or $400 off a battery backup system. Protect your basement. If you haven't used us yet, we would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Introducing Bluebell Pro, a dessert with up to 12 grams of protein and 110 calories or less per serving. Low fat, no added sugars, and gluten-free. Dig into a pint. It's more than just protein. It's Bluebell Pro. Never has high protein tasted so good.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream in your local grocer. If you can't find it, ask for it.
Tonight, expect a low of 62 with mostly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
Back in here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan. Christian Ozero, Jay Binkley, Jackson Ogden. Andy Reid having his press conference. Was this today or was this yesterday?
Yesterday, but he gave all the answers. Or it might have been 2 days ago. I don't remember.
Presumably gave all the answers.
He didn't give up any answers.
He's not going to get it.
But he said a few
I'm going to
things.
stress this. do not take anything that Andy says in this take it with a grain of salt.
There's a few things that I thought were interesting as far as what he looks for in a tackle and also his involvement in the draft process. I thought that was pretty. There's no reason to smoke that. But here's Andy and what he looks for in an offensive tackle. Keep in mind, I think he really, really wants offensive line.
I would tell you, I always look at the feet. I go and say, listen, give me somebody that can get out of their own way and get themselves in position where they can put themselves in the best position possible to block a guy, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. And then I work my way up from there with the core strength, the arm line, all those things. And it's, that's the offensive line is kind of my baby, along with the defensive line. I like both the big guys. I think you can make, you win games by making sure that group is strong.
So here's the one thing you can look at. He loves offensive line, which he said. He loves defensive line. He did mention,
and he says that as a former offensive lineman and a former coach of offensive line.
But I know he likes defensive line too because he's always wanting to take an edge. That's why FAU ended up here because he always liked edges. But he said a couple things there: feet, core strength, and he brings up arm length. Because remember, Andy Reid is a big stickler on that, especially in the first round. He has not drafted a tackle in the first round less than 34-inch arms for a reason. He's a stickler.
Aside from Josh Simmons.
It's Josh Simmons was 33. That's the one outlier there. But it goes to the defensive line as well when he thinks about edge rushers getting around tackles with those kind of lines. So if you put 2 and 2 together there, arm length does matter to Andy Reid.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing about the arm length deal with like Bain is like a lot of people are, well, he's an outlier and all that. And like the Chiefs have been drafting outliers the last few years. Like George Karlaftis was a bit of an outlier because generally 33-inch arms is what teams are looking for. He was about 32 and a half. And then last year they went with even more of an outlier in Ashton Gelati.
Yeah.
And that, you know what? Was it that same? No, it was the year before when they took Dana, who was also an outlier. He was, he's under 32.
Which you think mid-rounds, that's fine. But the one thing about it, too, is you've heard, well, the Chiefs haven't ever been able to get to the quarterback. That is blatantly false. They were number 2 in the NFL in sacks in 22 and 23. All the teams in the NFL, the Chiefs were number 2 in getting to the quarterback. Now, they haven't exactly drafted arm length in what's happened. They've gradually slipped back as far as the rankings, but they were number 2 in the NFL for 2 straight years.
Yeah, and so it's like they were kind of getting away from the traits that they liked.
And by the way, they happened to win Super Bowls that year.
Yeah. And so they got away from the traits that they liked, and you start to see the production on, getting to the quarterback go down. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense that you would bring that up. And I do think that is a parameter that maybe they should revisit, locking that in for sure and getting the traits that they're not getting from the guys that have been drafted.
Andy's traits that he's looking for and Brett Veach's traits go heavily into the decision-making with the draft picks. 100% they do. And they have backed away from it a little bit here and there, and they haven't had the results. This is what Andy, the input he has on the draft selections with Brett Veach.
Yeah, so Brett and his guys, they put together stacks of guys. They'll get players that like players. And Brett does a great job of having the coaches kind of look through those stacks and going, yeah, we kind of like this guy better than this guy. Even though they're that close, they help separate them to the liking of the offense, defense, or special teams. So, and then, I mean, he lets me get involved with that too. He'll give me some guys to do and just as another resource, another voice in there. Inevitably, though, they've already got the work done. And Brett has a great eye for that, and so we're not off by very much ever. I normally agree with how he's seeing it. I mean, I've got a lot of trust in him on that.
Translation: he's not going to draft anybody that's out of Andy Reid's realm of guys that he likes in specific categories. What he's looking for, and he's known him going back to Philadelphia when Brett was there. So he knows what he looks for in traits. He doesn't look at them all. He gets a handful of guys. This is what he don't look at. Same way with Mahomes. Mahomes is one of the quarterbacks, like Deshaun Watson, other quarterbacks that Andy Reid got to help select, which is always good when you involve the coaches in the decision.
I'm going to tell you this right. I don't believe anything that Andy just said there. Andy runs the show. Brett doesn't come to him and say, hey, this is what we're thinking,
Well, I think that Brett knows what Andy wants.
He does. I 100% agree, but I do not believe for a second that Andy's kind of acting like he's hands off, but hey, Brett knows what I like, and so that's cool. No. Andy calls the shots. Andy is like, I guarantee you that he doesn't do the legwork to just find all these players. I guarantee you that's Veach and the scouts' job.
Yeah, he's not going to draft an offensive tackle with 30-inch arms.
If Andy does not want a tackle at 9, there will not be a tackle at 9.
They would have never drafted Will Campbell.
Yeah, there's a 0% chance they are drafting players that Andy's not cool with. Like, I guarantee you, there is no, if they don't see eye to eye, it is Veach saying, hey, what do you think about this guy? And Andy's like, no. He's like, Veach is like, okay. Like, that is literally what I think the process is as far as the disagreement on players.
I do believe he's brought in certain players. It's like, no, yes.
Yeah, I 100% think Veach comes to him and says, here's players I like that I think might be fits. And then I think Andy is like, no, yes. I guarantee you that
There's
happens.
just certain guys you don't look at because you know the boss didn't want him.
Yeah, 100%. And I guarantee you, there's players that maybe Veach has liked, but he knew Andy wasn't going to like. And so he's like, nah. Like I said, I do not believe for a second. I know Andy's tried. He's been doing this for years now. I do not believe for a second that this is as collaborative as he makes it seem like whenever they talk about the way that they build the roster.
Yeah, 100%. Also, Andy Reid was asked about the wide receivers in the draft, and does he think any of them are capable of being a number one?
I'll tell you, there's a number of receivers that are good players. I think the key when you're there, you hear this every year, Sarin. I mean, you know this, but you always hear take the best player available when you get to that point. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, a wide receiver. It doesn't matter. And people can try to predict who you're going to take, but you're going to get to that point. Brett's going to go, listen, all these hours we put in, let's get the best guy and let's roll with it. And will there be a wide receiver? I don't know that. I don't know what's going to be there, but whatever it is,
a whole lot of nothing. That was a whole lot of confusion, man.
This is like when you ask someone, you're in an interrogation room as a cop, you're asking them their part of the story.
What did he just say?
You know they did it, but you're trying to get them to confess.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
That's why you're in there for 5 hours.
And maybe I'm just being biased because I want them to take a receiver. But it just based on that answer, it sounds like, oh well, if there's this receiver that we really like. If he's available at 9, or if we got to trade up a little bit to go get him, we'll go get him. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, he's not going to say, "Hey, Lemon is the dude, man."
He didn't name a single player because Veach last week.
The Chiefs have been very, very quiet on receivers.
Yeah, didn't name a single player. But he was just like, we have all these positions that we could draft. We're just going to go best available. Like again, I might be biased, but it sounds to me like he is trying his best to parry that question so that he doesn't have to talk about wide receiver because he's going hard on offensive tackle.
Want to talk about receivers.
He's
to me, this is like their version of the college players hitting the portal, and then they're just tweeting out like the emojis and stuff. This is the GMs and coaches' time
or the recruits who lower it down to like their final 5 schools or whatever.
Well, they start with a 20-team graphic, and then they go down one by one.
They go down to 5, and then they start teasing all the fan base. Hey, I could be a Gator.
Tweeting out a
I could be
Gator
a Trojan.
emoji.
I could be part of the Crimson Tide. Like, hey.
changing the bio every day, trying to get everybody curious.
Trying to do that. I see recruits
feel like
are doing it right now.
The version of that for the GMs and coaches, where Andy and Brett Veach are just laughing. They're like,
that's what it sounds. It sounded to me like he tried to parry the question because he didn't want to give out too much intel. Maybe that's just me being biased, but that's what it sounds like.
At least the Royals did their stadium announcement today and not on draft days.
Oh yeah, no. If they did that tomorrow, I'd have been so mad. I'd have been so mad if they did that tomorrow.
Man, the draft hasn't even hit yet, and their season's over. So
it's looking tough right now.
It's not good.
Coming up next, me and Bink are going to go through our mock draft 4.0. We put it out on Monday night. If you want to listen to us do that draft, listen to us as we did the draft live, You can listen to that on the podcast page, wherever you listen to podcasts. Look for Character Concerns, and we have it up there. But coming up next, me and Bink will explain our logic behind our Mock Draft 4.0. You listen to the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So, even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code WAGON for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WAGON for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's WAGON.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Whether you're looking for a Bronco, an Explorer, an F-150, or even a commercial vehicle, Robside Ford has the selection.
That's right, Kevin. We've got it all. And we've got the lowest prices in Kansas City. No gimmicks, just great deals on every new Ford.
And it's not just inventory, it's how you do business. Robside Ford makes it very simple.
We do it different on purpose. Non-commissioned sales team, upfront transparent pricing, top dollar trade-in values, and a process that's actually easy.
You've even got the reputation to back it up, Bobby. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, 3,000 reviews. Wow.
And this year, we're proud to be voted Best Car Dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
So if you're ready for a better car buying experience,
come see us at 135th and State Line or check us out at robsight.com.
From Broncos to F-150s to work trucks, Robside Ford has what you need.
If you want simple and easy, you're not going to find a better spot.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
What's up, everybody? Nick Hostos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Taking a look at the pro basketball futures market, Oklahoma City now a minus choice to win the championship at -120. We saw San Antonio star center get concussed last night. We don't know when he will be back in the team's first-round series. Boston shot 13 of 50 from 3 last night in a Game 2 loss to Philadelphia. It's all lining up for Oklahoma City to go back-to-back and win a championship. It's not fun or sexy to say that the favorite's just going to win, but that's where I'm at right now. I think Oklahoma City is a worthy minus choice to win another title. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Vicky Stevens writes, "We weren't happy with the way things turned out last season, so I made the call. Weedman's been a total game changer. Fertilization, weed control, the whole 9 yards. Our lawn has never looked better. The neighbors are so jealous, they avoid me at the supermarket. It's fantastic. Go to weedman.com, enter promo code GREEN, and get 1 free service."
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club, available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game.
Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug!
Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down.
Hey!
Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Odyssey Sports Draft coverage is presented nationally by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only. Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
So Monday, me and Bink did our final Chiefs 7-round mock draft. And Bink had the first overall pick. We alternate picks. No trades. We did not do any trades. And, it's funny because, before you made your pick at round 1, pick 9, I strongly advised you think about Jordan Tyson, because I think Jordan Tyson, I think people are way higher on. I think the league is way higher on him than mock drafters are, which I get. The draft community is not as high on him as I think teams are.
There's an ESPN one that came out today heading 5th.
Yeah, because Jeremy Fowler reported that Jordan Tyson might be gone at 5, and which is why I say if the Chiefs trade up to 3 or 4, Jordan Tyson to me. That's Jordan Tyson to me, because I think it's a very good chance he doesn't make it past 5. And not only that, but let's say he does make it past 5. You can make a case the next 3 teams could use a wide receiver there. So, I do think that's on. If the Chiefs really like Jordan Tyson, they might have to trade up to go get him. And so I strongly advise that. But again, this was your pick. Round 1, pick 9. Who'd you take in our mock?
It's someone that you have liked for a long time.
My favorite receiver in this class.
There's not a lot of arguments about it. Mekhi Lemon. Again, it's a few. Chase Daniel put him in his. He really liked him as well. We've liked Mekhi Lemon here. It's not wishy-washy. We've
mocked him
the whole
to
time,
the Chiefs the last 3 or 4 times?
I think we had Carnell Tate in our first
our 3 round, not our first,
our third,
not our first
round, but
not
in
1
the 7th round. It's always been Lemon.
Yeah,
it's never wavered. From that, he's got 3 drops in his last 175 targets. So he has 3 drops in his career at USC. That is not many. The guy's a yards after catch guy. The guy fits in the Andy Reid system. Brett Veach even put out the Emeka Egbuka comparison to JSN. You've heard that even from Brett there. Amon-Ra St. Brown is one that you hear a lot when it comes to Mekhi Lemon. I get it. They went to the same school. There's a lot of similarities. He is the Biletnikoff winner as the best wide receiver in the country last year. They just don't give that award away for nothing. And I feel like Mekhi Lemon would be very strong with one Patrick Mahomes going forward. And not to mention, if he's just stuck in the slot, okay, it's probably where he's going to be.
That's fine.
Rashee Rice, probably his last year, so he's gone. But it's in the slot. And again, JSN went to the Seahawks, primarily as slot receiver. He led all receivers in outside boundary wide receiver yards because he made that switch going to the outside. So it can be done.
And again,
if you want it,
people traditionally have made the slot receiver out like it's an ancillary receiver position, and it's just not anymore.
One of the tops in the NFL.
It's one of the most important positions in the NFL because of the fact that teams generally want to get the ball out really quick. So having a guy that can just catch it real quick over the middle and go, that's really important, especially for most quarterbacks, because most quarterbacks in the NFL don't have the arm talent to be able to just gun it to the outside.
And Puka does both. He plays slot and he plays outside.
He plays a lot of slot.
And Andy Reid does like his receivers to do multiple positions.
Exactly.
If he needs you.
So I don't expect Mekhi Lemon to just play in the slot. He's going to move around all over the place.
He did last year. Not a lot, but he did play some boundary.
Yeah. So like I said, I love Mekhi Lemon. I would love that pick at 9. Even if they traded back like 2 or 3 spots and he was still there, go get him. But yeah, no, I love this pick, and I how I feel about Mekhi Lemon. He's been my favorite receiver all year. But I've been saying this since Monday. Don't sleep on Jordan Tyson. At round 1, pick 29, I took Zion Young, and you know how I feel about Zion Young. You feel the same way about Zion Young. Has all the traits you're looking for in an edge rusher.
He's like a
system.
3-time mock draft pick, 3 out of 4.
Probably 4. 3. Well, 3-time in our 7th round, but we also mocked him to the Chiefs, I think, in our midseason.
Our top 2 picks have been there for a long time.
Yeah. This has been a guy that's been very consistent.
Again, no football's been played.
No football's been played.
That's one thing we forget.
Very consistent player. The dude, he has everything the Spags looks for in an edge rusher. And it's just about trusting Joe Cullen, trusting Spags to get the most out of him. And, trusting that the guys around him, the veterans around him, will help him improve his technique because he has all the talent. He just needs to be he needs to be cultured. He needs to be taught. He needs to learn some more technique as far as like how it needs to go about like countering what tackles are doing and being able to consistently use that strength that he has, that length that he has.
He was the Shrine Bowl MVP for his team on that side. 16.5 tackles for losses. He played on the other side of the field. A lot of turnovers. The guy was a constant presence.
He was very productive out the edge.
You go back to Michigan
spot.
State when he was there too.
Yeah, he was awesome there too. He's got all the talent that you're looking for in this system, and I don't think there's a huge drop off between him and the guys that you would take top 10. So
not to mention he had some of his best games against good talent in the SEC.
Then at round 2, pick 40, who'd you take?
Lee Hunter, defensive lineman out of Texas Tech. Love Lee Hunter, what he can do on the defensive line. Again, we go back-to-back defensive picks for the Chiefs after going wide receiver with the first one. But you start shoring up that edge, you shore up that defensive line. Lee Hunter, the selection there. The defensive tackle out of Tech.
And then before we get to the break, at round 3, pick 74, I took Georgia State wide receiver Ted Hurst. Hurst has been getting a lot of run in the Chiefs community.
He came in for a visit to Kansas City.
Yeah,
So.
he was one of the top 30 visits. He is incredibly talented, but didn't play at the highest of levels. Originally Valdosta State, which I think his brother played at before him.
In the Sun Belt.
And then he moved over to Georgia State in the Sun Belt. It's a Group of 5 school, and put up good numbers there. But question marks really are about how he adjusts to competition more than it is about his talent. He has NFL talent. He just didn't play against a lot of, top end.
He's a bigger receiver.
Players.
I mean, again, 6'3", right at 6'4".
He's like
less than 6'4" at the combine. It's a little over 6'3".
Yeah, I think he was 6'3", like just over 200 pounds. And so you're talking about basically size-wise similar to what A.D. Mitchell was a couple years ago coming out of Texas. And he was like 4'2", 40, I believe. So he's got good speed. He's got really good size about him. He's in that realm of, because he's a faster, bigger receiver.
4'2" and 11'3" broad jump.
Yeah, so he fits exactly what the Chiefs would look for if they're going to get a bigger receiver, because generally they don't get bigger receivers that often. But when they do, it's because they're fast. It's because they're like Marquez Valdes-Scantling. They're faster. And to me, I think that's a good comp for her.
He's got the big hands and arm length.
It's just a matter of can they develop him into the kind of receiver they need him to be. Coming up next, we'll give you our final 5 picks in our mock draft 4.0 here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
There's nothing like the sound of Royals baseball. When the boys in blue take the field, loyal fans tune in, turn it up, and stay connected. And where do Kansas City's most passionate sports fans gather? Right here on 96.5 The Fan. Sports fans are loyal fans. They support the teams they love and the businesses that support their team. If you're ready to grow your business and connect with a dedicated, engaged audience, call 816-522-0444 or email greg.bergen@odyssey.com. That's greg.bergen@odyssey.com.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
CertaPro Painters recently painted my home and exceeded my expectations. I booked a free estimate, reviewed a detailed proposal, and scheduled my project on the spot. When you choose CertaPro Painters, you're partnering with trusted local professionals with over 70,000 five-star reviews. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in KC. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get $400 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn $5 into $400 in bonus bets just for getting started. When every possession matters in the playoffs, FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action. From player props on your favorite stars to all the tools you need to back them up, head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, matchups all in one place and make your picks with the utmost confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA and official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Odyssey Sports Draft coverage is presented nationally by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
Final few minutes here before we are joined by Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict.
Draft starts in about 24 hours from now.
A little bit over 24 hours.
We'll be at the Brooksider.
24 hours, 7 minutes, and 13 seconds.
We'll be at the Brooksider diving in. Hope you can join us out there.
We would love
Everybody's going to be there.
every one
Except
of y'all.
for Cody and Gold, they're in Pitt.
Yeah, they're in Pittsburgh, but we would love for every one of y'all to
And me.
join in.
I'll be back here at the studio,
You will not be there at Jackson. You're going to be doing the hard work over here in the studio by yourself.
But in spirit, you'll be
I'll
with
be
us.
there in spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone drank a beer there for me.
So, yeah, Bink will probably do that. Bink can take care of that.
Yeah.
So, final few picks here of our mock draft 4.0. In round 5,
round 4.
Round 4 was the next pick. This was your pick. Who'd you take?
Will Lee the third, cornerback from A&M. We actually went A&M. We bashed A&M certain players last week, Jackson. But I go Will Lee. He's got a big wingspan. The guy had 24 pass breakups.
We bashed Cassius Howell because he's a short
in
kid.
Concepcion for drops. But
I mean, I didn't bash him.
I did.
You did. Jackson did.
But Will Lee the
I
third.
like Concepcion.
It's in that kind of wheelhouse of Chiefs and quarters. Now, I will say, if Chris Johnson happens to still be there at 40, that would be the selection over Lee Hunter at that point. That's where you get your corner. Will Lee's a guy that we've liked for a while.
We debated that, and you went with Lee Hunter. But if Chris Johnson was the pick at 40, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, 100%. Will Lee the third, and it figured it's right in their wheelhouse where they get defensive backs. I get it. McDuffie was a first rounder, but they've got a lot of guys like Noel Williams. They hopped up into the third to grab certainly a first rounder if you regrade it now. L'Jarius Sneed came out of the 4th round. Jalen Watson that went to the Rams was a former 7th rounder. So Will Lee the third, we go corner in round 4.
Yeah, he's probably the last fit as far as like big outside corner that you could really count on having that top end upside.
He does man and zone a little bit better in zone than man.
Yeah, a little bit better in zone, but he could play man. He could play on the outside, bigger, physical. He can do it all. Kevin Coleman Jr. was the next pick in round 5 and pick 148. I like this guy a lot as a slot type guy. As a 4th wide receiver, getting some good depth there.
Had a better year at Mississippi State the year before. Was underutilized at Missouri with their quarterback issues.
Yeah. But still, he showed
what he can do.
He showed he put out good tape, even though he was underutilized.
He actually went to play with Deion at Jackson State back when Travis Hunter and all those guys went to Jackson State before Deion went to Colorado.
Yeah, he's a super talented kid,
and he returns too. He has
he can return. He's super talented kid. He's like I said to me, he kind of profiles as a DeMarcus Robinson type. Where it's like he's a guy that you have on your roster. You hope he's just a good number 4. So I like this pick a lot. And then with the second 5th round pick at 168, who'd you have them taking?
Where we pick 169.
169.
Oscar Dell, the tight end out of Georgia.
And it was funny.
Again, this is not a Travis Kelce replacement. This is somebody you hope is tight end 2 or tight end 3.
This is more of a Noah Gray replacement than a Kelce replacement.
Kind of like that with Oscar Dell.
Yeah, he's super athletic.
Guy's getting a lot of buzz going forward. A good pass catcher.
He has the
good
talent.
Size as well, 6'5", about 250.
He has the talent to be a very good receiving tight end in the league. He just never got a chance to show it because Georgia generally had him back blocking. So
he's got soft hands. He gets off.
Yeah.
Linebackers have trouble covering him.
Yeah, he's good after the catch. He's got all the athleticism. It's not very refined. So, but I like the pick a lot. Then round 5, pick 178. I took Oregon cornerback Jaden Kennedy. You're talking about a slot guy. Guy's going to play nickel, not a super big dude.
Bring Kohu in as a slot guy. This gives you another slot option.
He could play inside. So he's obviously going to be your slot guy, and he's going to play inside, but he could play zone. He could play man. He comes up and makes tackles in the run game. So this is a guy he can play. He can perform every function that you want. He can blitz. And, that's what you're looking for from your nickel is you're looking for someone who can go out there, who can play zone, play man, and can get after the run game and get after the quarterback.
He's an SEC guy as well. Played at Ole Miss before he transfers out to Oregon. And finally, in round 6, pick 210, one of my favorite dudes, Miami safety Jacoby Thomas. I see Spags written all over this as far as the safety position. A dude with 5 interceptions, a dude with 3.5 sacks. And keep in mind, he was playing the safety position, so he was a big addition to that defense.
He's
one of the leading tacklers throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he plays. He's going to be like he's going to be like kind of like a star position type.
Bain and Messidor get the run, but Jacoby Thomas kind of that glue for that defense.
Yeah, he's very much a star position. He's up. He's basically like a smaller linebacker. Play in the box. He can play back. Play in the slot. He could just kind of do a little bit of everything.
When you say riser, he rose from not being drafted to 6th round.
Yeah. But this is a guy that it could very well be a very underrated and very serviceable.
Probably
if
one
not
of my favorite
good.
guys in the draft. We have our favorite dudes.
Yeah, we always have our late round guys that we like, and that's your dude for sure. So that's our mock draft 4.0. And we were really happy to be able to get that in, get the guys that we liked. If that was the draft class for 2026, I think both of us would be very, very happy with that.
Text line says, guys, 3 wide receivers. Yes, because they have a habit of just getting one. We're making sure Mahomes has his receivers.
Oh, the biggest thing is just because you're going to have to retool that receiving core in a year because you don't have a lot of long-term contracts.
Even if one of them sucks and 2 of them don't, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah, the thing is you are making sure that you don't have to worry about receiver for the next few years unless all 3 receivers you drafted are terrible.
But it was still slotted 5 defense, 4 offense.
Yeah, still more defense than offense. I mean, we just took 3 receivers and a tight end. That's all we did. We didn't take O-line. So coming up next, Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict will be in studio for the 7 o'clock hour. Make sure you stay locked in here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHEV.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and there's a lot of reasons why you should buy from us. How about being Google's highest review rated and your first maintenance is free? Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. You'll fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
What's got everyone talking?
That would be Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill on 135th and Null and 119th and Quivira.
What's got everyone talking?
Everyone's talking about our daily specials, the best burgers and wings in town, great selection of beer and spirits. Oh, it's the dozens of TVs showing your favorite game.
That's what's got everyone talking.
This is Giannis, and now we're talking at Talk of the Town Neighborhood Bar and Grill.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and you know baseball's back. BetMGM, the official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boosts. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Fans Draft Party is Thursday, April 23rd at the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Back in here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan. Christian Osero, Jay Binkley, Jackson Ogden. Our NFL Draft coverage and our guests here on 96.5 The Fan are brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue.
Now joined in studio by one Price Carter, who brought in a pumpkin pie as well.
I was wondering what he had.
Yeah,
I was wondering what he had in that foil.
Of course, he's brought to you by the aforementioned Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here or wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Welcome, my friend. I know you've been doing a lot of work. I know that you did 100 prospects in 100 days. And I have to wonder, did you work ahead a little bit and say, well, I'm going to put this out on the next day? Let me go ahead and knock a couple out and wait, or did you do one per day?
Yeah, I did start a little bit ahead.
Okay.
Around Christmas time, started with my greatest fear was writing up someone who went back to school. Like, I started getting a little worried about Mateo.
Did that happen? Because I know the Chiefs had to wipe 25 guys off their board.
Well, he just said Uyunglele, so yeah, it happened.
I did not write him up, though. I was like, he was one of the guys on my list, but I managed not to have someone that went back to school, so that was nice.
No Dante Moores?
No Dante Moores. No, I didn't do any quarterbacks. It's all Chiefs specific, so I didn't do any interior offensive linemen, and I didn't do any quarterbacks for this class, but did everything else. But yeah, I went
watched them take a guard in like round 5.
You know what? I'm not going to be like super mad about it.
I'm not going to care.
I'm kind of over the Mike Caliendo experience, but at the end of the day, like I don't sweat those. Like, my goal was to try to get as many of kind of the top 100 consensus boards, and then just hit guys that they had for 30 visits or people that are very like Chiefs coded. Those heavy-handed edge rushers, those long physical corners, or positions of need. I think I ended up doing like 15 or 16.
Yeah, and they've used those top 30 visits. It's funny because a lot of times they do them for the mid-round guys, so they get to know them a little better. Second-round guys, too. Nick Bolton, they had brought him in for a visit. They brought in Simmons, obviously, because of injury. They do that with injured guys for Rick Burkholz to look them over and stuff like that. So they brought a lot in this year. Like Arvell Reese was here, David Bailey, Kenyon Sadiq. I mean, there was a bunch that stopped by this year.
Yeah, and typically when you take a look at those...
Lemon, Tate, you name it.
Yeah, typically when you take a look at the 30 visits, you're seeing at least one or two future Chiefs. They've historically drafted off that list consistently.
Now, Kingsley was here.
Yeah, Kingsley was here. They had Rashee Rice in. Now we know why that was, knowing the character and some of the questions that were going on with him at SMU.
Character concerns?
Yes, character concerns, of course, on brand. But yeah, usually you take a look at that list and you're looking at a couple of future Chiefs there. So that's where I headed. But yeah, it's complete. I submitted my last one last Friday, which was Ephesians Prysock, the long corner from Washington. So it's all done now. The Hayes in the barn, final predictive mock, my guys, it's all done. I'm done writing, which is good. Cause
you haven't started on 27 yet?
I've taken a little peek, taking a little peek and just here and there when you're watching, like, oh, okay.
And you like, don't you?
Yes. Gosh, man, you turn on that Jeremiah Smith tape. Jesus and cleats, brother. To be accelerating the way he does at that size. I mean, that's why, like, all these.
And figure out what happened to Ryan Williams.
Yes, yeah, that's really unfortunate. He added a hyphen to his name now, so hopefully it'll be better. Maybe that'll help him catch.
So who are some of the guys you're kind of looking at here at the top that you think are like some of the best overall fits for the Chiefs? Let's say first like couple days.
Yeah, so I think, you start obviously with this class has a lot of really kind of Spags-coated edge rushers. There's a lot of guys who are in that 6'3 to 6'5, 260 to 270 bucket that defend the run well, which honestly I think is emblematic of how the league is playing right now as a whole. You're seeing less and less of these just pure speed rushers who pin the ears back because, quite frankly, getting to a place where you can pin your ears back on third down has never been harder because of how efficient the league is, not only running the ball, which is ever more important than it's been, but obviously like all these RPO screens and things. Like it's hard to get in 3rd and 8 these days. So having a guy, and that's something I try to bring up with like Ruben Bain or anyone like that, is that he was on the field like 90% of the time, and that holds value. I even argue that with George Karlaftis. The fact that he plays the amount of snaps he does is part of his value. Yes, it doesn't show up in sacks. Yes, it doesn't always show up in tackles for a loss, but being able to be there every single down holds value to NFL.
I agree with
defenses.
that. That's something that is important.
But yeah, and so like going back to the edge rushers, whether it be TJ Parker out of Clemson, Zion Young out of Missouri, even on down the board a little bit like Gabe Akis out of Illinois is one of my guys. Like
I like Gabe too.
Yeah,
there's Malachi Lawrence. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
decent dudes at the end.
Yeah, so I think that's a really great bucket that there's quite a few players, and that's something I come back to all the time when we're talking 9 and 29 is like, I love Ruben Bain, but boy, they could probably get another guy that they really like in the edge category at 29 or perhaps even 40. And there's always going to be different flavors of corners as well, too. We're talking about like Chris Johnson, Colton Hood, on down the board like Davison Igbinosun out of Ohio State. There's a lot of guys that are willing to put their nose in the run game and have that length and strength.
I really like David.
Yeah, he's fun. I love the little tidbit that Brugler put in the Beast about him having to wear kitchen gloves or the oven mitts at
a lot
practice.
of penalties, but
I mean, but that's a Chiefs corner.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how they play, and he's willing to put his nose in there. So yeah, I definitely think those two positions and the tackles not so much. Like we've got a couple. Monroe Freeling's kind of built like a Chiefs tackle, but there's a lot of shorter arm tackles in this class. But those are the positions that stick out to me. It's lacking at defensive tackle. There's not a lot of penetrating 3-techs. You're either getting a nose who's got some pass rush upside like a Lee Hunter, and then you're on down the board with like Christian Miller or Grayson Halton or guys like that are more of your penetrating 3-techs.
So how mad would you be if the Chiefs went tackle at 9? Because I know we've talked about this in the last hour. We think that the city would be in free fall if that happened at 9. How would you feel about tackle going at 9? Especially with the guys that are projected to be in that range that people like.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem with it is it's not so much the process of, we can argue about the process. I mean, I can kind of understand like a lot of really good teams get ahead of their needs 1 year before. You're not sure about Jalen Moore. I kind of understand the thing that people are sniffing around, and it's real easy to be like, oh, every time the Chiefs lost a Super Bowl, they had poor offensive line play. And it's also really easy to look at it and be like, they won a Super Bowl with Stefan Wisniewski. They won a Super Bowl with Nick Allegretti. They won a Super Bowl with Andrew Wiley on the field. Like, all those guys were on the field when they won Super Bowls too. The point, though, is that at 9, they're either going to reach on a guy, in my opinion, like a Caden Proctor, like a Monroe Freeling. These guys are legitimate tackle prospects that I do think fit their mold, but they have their flaws, whether it be the movement skills of Caden Proctor or whether it be just kind of the rawness of Monroe Freeling, who started about 16 games in his career and is a bit of a project.
But again, left tackle, he'd be asking him probably to move the right.
Yeah,
the good news is a lot of the right, like Francis Manoa, at least right tackles. That's kind of in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, because that's the thing that jumps out to me about it is that
now Fontenot will be a guard at my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a guard. But there's a lot of people like who are talking Caden Proctor, who are talking Monroe Freeling. Not Freeling as much for the Chiefs, but certainly you see a lot of Caden Proctors out there, and it's like, well, how's that going to work out with him playing left, and you got Josh Simmons at left, like who kicks over, and like is that a good idea to kick a guy over this early in their career? Like that part just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and I think like if we're and again, it's the thing at 9, right? Like the player I think matters more than it is the position. If it is Fano or Maui Noa, I am going to be very frustrated because both of those guys, like you want to talk about taking on risk, and that's one of my biggest points about the Chiefs in the top 10 is you want to take a player that you feel great about, that you can put your head on the pillow and say, hey, we got a blue chip and we feel great about it. But like Jordan Tyson, right? Like there's injuries there's reason to concern. You're taking a guy who has that moniker of short arms, like, Spencer Fano, shorter arms than Will Campbell. Are you going to take a guy like that and know that there's some of that's going to need to kick inside potentially? That's not something I want to be.
Especially when your head coach says core strength and arm length he likes.
Yeah. So like those things, just that's what scares me about it. Now, if we're talking on down the board at 29 or a slight move up, I'm a little bit more on board with it because I do understand its positional value and that it is an important position, and you don't want to be in a position where we're just constantly looking for tackles. But I do think not Josh Simmons, but Jalen Moore provides you a little bit of flexibility there, where like part of the reason why I think Kingsley Suamataia was such a brutal failure at left tackle is because he had a quasi competition with Wanya Morris, which he shockingly won, and then he was thrown to the Wolves week 1 as a starter.
Did he win that comp? Because the minute that they put on pads, he just was immediately the starter when Wanya was the starter when they weren't in pads.
Yeah. And it's too bad it didn't work.
It seemed to us like this was a rigged competition from day one as soon as they put on pads, because like it was Wanya who was the starting left tackle before pads, and then as soon as they put on pads in camp, it was Kingsley, and then there was never a question about
him not playing left tackle did set him back a little bit in the draft.
Yeah, and so if you did a Monroe Freeling or a Caden Proctor, like I think what you're looking at there is like we've given ourselves a runway that, hey, maybe this guy doesn't see the field year 1, but he's got time to develop, or maybe it's more of a week 8, week 9 type of thing if Jalen Moore is struggling or if there's injuries. And I understand the need for depth, but if we're talking about that, I think I'd kind of rather just wait until day 2 or early day 3 to address it, whether it be the massive 6'9" Markel Bell from Miami or Demetrius Crownover. There's a lot of really.
We like Crownover, converted tight end. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think it'd be very funny to have Ruben Bain and Demetrius Crownover on the same roster. Like let them work out their demons that they clearly had in the playoff game, because Ruben Bain had that man suffering.
He destroyed him. He destroyed him in that game. My only thing is with Bain is the whole. It's an outlier because it would be an asterisk because, 27 years worth of guys not in the first round with that short of arms, and no one's had 10 sacks that had less than 31-inch arms. So that would be an outlier in the top 10 because it would be bucking the trend, which is fine. He might do it, but you just can't gamble on it, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And,
but it's probably going to be their pick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're like, if you ask me to put hard-earned American currency on who is the most likely Chiefs pick, it's probably him, and then Jordan Tyson. But I think the thing with Bain, and, I've been approached about this several times of like, okay, well, you don't like Spencer Fano or Francis Mauigoa because they're arm length, but you're capping for Bain. And the difference here is a couple things. First off, if you take a guard at pick 9, unless he's like a premier best guard in the league, it's usually considered kind of a bust of a pick. Also a factor in, the Chiefs do not have a need. They have their interior offensive line locked up for the next 3 years. So they don't really have a need at that position that factors in there. So if Spencer Fano kicks inside, it's already a bad process. Yep. And that means he's likely failed at right tackle. Then you factor in with Bain's arms, one, it's not as crucial to his play. He's been a dominant player with his shorter arms, and we have seen him kick inside successfully and be a menace on the inside. So, and he can, like, you can't put Spencer Fano at tackle for a drive and then put him at guard and be like, oh, look, we've got flexibility. You can do that with Bain. And if Bain plays 30% on the inside and 70% on the outside on early downs, that's still a good player. That's still value. And by the way, the Chiefs still have a really big need at interior defensive line, and it's still a very important position.
Put on a little weight to get there, but he could easily. That's quick. 10 pounds is quick.
Yeah, and I wonder what he plays at, because he was listed at, I believe, 275.
275
at Miami and weighed
in
close.
You never know if that's real. Or
I don't think that was real. I think what he weighed at the combine is probably what he played at.
Yeah. So and that's kind of where I am with him. And yeah, I mean, let's not lie and say like I wish his arms were shorter or something. Like I would much rather his arms be longer. Like you're sitting here looking at his mock draftable profile. It's not a profile that excites you when we're talking about a guy who's 16th percentile of height, 50th percentile in weight, 10th in wingspan, 1% arm length, 9% hand size. Like, yeah, there's some concerns there. This is kind of one of those ultimate, like, do you trust the tape or do you trust the profile and the outliers? And to me, I just think he provides a pretty high floor as a run defender. I think his ability to move inside and outside's there, and unnatural bend for his size.
Or if Big Red bends on it, because he had mentioned offensive line and defensive line when he's looking for core strength and arm length. He did mention both.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And, you know, I the only thing I'll say is, like, the Chiefs have kind of already tipped their hand that they're okay with some of these. If you go look at George, like, I believe Ashton Gelati
was 31.5.
Yeah, Gelati's like 6 percentile or 5 or 6 percentile.
And they were number 2 in the, Chris and I were talking about before the show, they were number 2 in sacks in the NFL in 22 and 23.
Yeah.
They were number 2 out of all teams in sacks. And then they started going a little more shorter arms to the draft, and that's why they're in the position they are.
And that's, like, I'll say this. I do agree with you. The floor of Bain is pretty good. Great run defender, and he'll probably generate pressure in the passing.
The amount of times he plays, it's huge.
The question I have, though, is what's the ceiling? Because I don't think the ceiling's as high for him as a lot of people think. I think his ceiling is like what George Karlaftis has been the last couple years. And if you're fine with that, that's fine. You know, it's just like, for me, top 10. If I'm going to draft an edge rusher top 10, the ceiling's got to be a little bit higher than George Karlaftis the last couple years.
And, you know, that's a great question about this draft and period. Like, are you chasing ceiling because this draft as a whole isn't the most uber talented in the first round? Or are you chasing a floor because of that reason? And, you know, I compared it to this, like, and I hear this all the time, like, well, what's wrong if the Chiefs just stick at 9 and take the top tackle on the board? Well, that's great. You know, like, I can be the richest man in town. If I live in Lee Summit, that's different than living in Hollywood, right? And if you're the top tackle on the board in this class, you're not Joe Alt. You're not Penei Sewell. If you're a top 10 edge in this class, that doesn't mean that you are Will Anderson. And that's the thing that's hard, whether it be wide receiver or anything. Like, we put it through the spectrum of this class. And yeah, like, Ruben Bain's one of the best edge rushers in this class. Where would he be 2 years ago? Where would he be 3 years ago? It's a little bit better question.
If he would have entered the draft last year with the kind of profile that he had going into this year, because last year his profile wasn't good enough for him to be taken this high, but in this year's class, if he would have gone to last year's class with the kind of production he had now, he's probably about where the Chiefs are picking last year. Like, I think he's probably late first round last year with the kind of production he had this year, because you just had edge rushers that had more talent overall than him. And that's the questionable thing about it to me, is like, how high can he really go as far as that with the physical limitations? Because he does have that outlier profile, but it's just like, how much can you really bet on him being an outlier in a league where physicality, physical talent matters so much? And it's just like, am I willing to risk that? And I'm not.
Yeah, and I think the question then is, like, when you're talking about mitigating risk and measuring risk, what player is going to be at pick 9 that doesn't have some sort of risk?
Everyone's going to have risk. It's just a matter of, like, how risky is it? Ruben Bain is a really risky player because of the fact that the profile, the physical profile he brings is such a rare occurrence. Like, a lot of people compared him like Terrell Suggs. Terrell Suggs was an inch and an eighth longer than he is. Like, you're talking about someone who was an outlier in his time, but he still isn't as much of an outlier as Ruben Bain is. So, like, that's the thing that scares me. It's like, you're talking about someone who's more extreme than any outlier we've ever seen at that position.
You just need better quality in the top 10, so for trade backs.
Yeah.
So Jeremiah Love to fall.
He's not going to fall.
He's not.
I know you keep dreaming about this.
No, but that's the dream.
I know you keep dreaming.
There's nobody else out there who think if he falls, they're going to trade him and get him, because that's not it.
He ain't falling that.
Well, and even some of the guys who are viewed as some of the safer prospects in this class, like Mansour Delane, the cornerback at LSU, he's not overwhelming physically. I mean, he's
short arms,
fast, but
I mean, he's not some overwhelming. This isn't Sauce Gardner or this prototype.
One of the short arms in the class. I think.
Yeah, prototypical.
I think he's half an inch longer than.
But he's 4.38 or
4.39, something like that.
Fast as hell.
Yeah, and even Caleb Downs, right? Like, he's one of the guys. Like, if you told me, hey, you've got to bet some of your mortgage on the fact that this one player in this draft is going to be a quality NFL player, it'd be Caleb Downs.
Yeah,
but even we're not going to get any testing data on him. We're not going to get any measurables from him. Like, The profile is the profile, and you're just going to rely on the fact that he started as a true freshman for Nick Saban and then went and helped win a national championship for Matt Patricia at Ohio State. And the smarts and the flexibility and everything. And again, like if the Chiefs end up with Caleb Downs, they're going to have a hard time being upset with it. But again, there is risk.
And I think 2 total returns, 1 touchdown at Bama, 1 at Ohio State. When they asked him, he only returned like 10 times, I think, but he can do it.
Yeah, and one or two of them's a touchdown too.
Yeah, 1 a touchdown at Bama and 1 at Ohio State.
Yeah, so I mean, it's tough, and that's why I think you hear like pretty often that there's not a big difference between pick 13 and 14 and pick 28 or 29, and there's not a big difference between pick 20 and pick 40.
So I think that's one of the legitimate questions. How many actual first-round grades do you have? Because a lot of GMs will say, Brett Veach usually will say it when he's asked, how many first-round grades do you have?
So coming up next, we're going to hit on your mock draft that you put out earlier this week. It was your predictive mock draft. So obviously this is one you think is going to be the accurate one, and we'll break that down and we'll get your take on each one of the picks. Coming up next here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Introducing Bluebell Pro, a dessert with up to 12 grams of protein and 110 calories or less per serving. Low fat, no added sugars, and gluten-free. Dig into a pint. It's more than just protein. It's Bluebell Pro. Never has high protein tasted so good.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream in your local grocer. If you can't find it, ask for it.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
Continuing the conversation with Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
Price Carter does an awesome job over at Arrowhead Addict, where he does his mock drafts and all his player profiles as well. You do an awesome job with your evaluations, Price. Chris and I really enjoy when you come in here. We appreciate the work you do.
Oh, man. I'm just glad that you guys have me. This guy's just talking ball. I mean,
your tradition, man.
There just happened to be
Gotta have
microphones
you.
in front of us.
I told you first off, I said we have to have you at some point. And the night before the draft might be the best. So
it's Christmas Eve.
I got to go home and watch draft day. It's tradition.
I've never seen that
movie. Sucks.
I've never seen it. I don't. First off, I'm not a big movie watcher.
It's like Christmas Vacation,
and
Christmas.
I'm not a big sports movie watcher because I hate sports movies.
It's not good, but it's just tradition.
And my thing is, I'm not going to go out. I saw the trades. Somebody put somebody put a graphic that had the trades in that film, and I was like, I'm definitely not watching.
It gets
that
worse
movie.
too. Wait until you find out who one of the agents is in the movie.
I'm not gonna watch it. So
is there a station that picked it up that'll show it on loop, like Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation?
I hope not. I hope
I hope it's
waste
on loop.
their money.
I hope NFL Network.
I hope
just
Kevin
jams
Costner
this
does
down.
not make extra money off of that terrible film.
Dude, it's a classic, man.
No,
It sucks,
I'm not
but
going to waste 90 minutes to 2 hours of my time watching that.
Draft day, baby.
No, I'm
Cleveland
good.
Browns.
So on your mock, we'll go through it here. At round 1, pick 9, you had the Chiefs taking edge rusher Ruben Bain.
Yeah, we don't have to get into him much as we just got into him. I think the thought process is here is I think he's likely to make it there. To me, if he clears the Titans at 4, which right now it seems like they're either leaning Love or Styles, I think he's got a good chance to be there. I think the scariest team in front of the Chiefs would be the Saints, who kind of like that type of profile. Maybe you see a slight trade up to 7 to prevent them. Or
and they
6.
allegedly want to get the Chiefs back for the home of homes thing.
Yeah.
Well, you also got to think about they like to take all the Chiefs' defensive players.
Yes, yeah, that's true. And
so that would be them like, hey, we're going to get the guy before you get him.
But the Chiefs have been very careful not to leak anything out for the Saints.
But come on, let's be honest here. We know that Ruben Bain isn't playing with the Saints because we know he is someone that normally would be in the Chiefs' purview based on his style of play. We know that. Like, it's not a mystery. So,
and I think, it wouldn't be unlike Sean Payton to take credit for something they wasn't necessarily deserve credit for.
Yeah,
he was going to draft Josh Allen too, and Joe Burrow. He just didn't get the chance.
No, he would have taken. He told Parcells back in the day he should take that Tom Brady kid.
Yeah,
it just didn't work out.
Yeah, so it's not unlike him to run his mouth. But I just think that his floor is 9 probably, or I recently Schrager had him in his mock kicking back to 12 and still getting him. I think that the arm length and stuff, it will scare some teams off. Obviously, the driving incident, there's some questions to be answered there. I don't know, man.
I don't care about the driving incident per se because, I
actually felt bad for him.
I felt bad a little bit, but it was good for us to know that. But also at the same time, it's like the family of the lady that unfortunately passed away, they said good things about him. Yeah. So it's like we don't even know the full context of exactly what happened.
My first reaction was not again. That's
the reaction every time you see a player
it's their whole career,
that's
man.
Potentially in the Chiefs' orbit. Yeah,
but I wasn't a fan of that.
My thing is just like I'm happy it came out, but at the same time I'm not going to kill him over it because it could have been just a simple mistake and a bad situation.
Yeah, at the end of the day, car crashes are one of the leading killers of people, and he happened to be involved in a tragedy.
So you got to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not in the same category of Rashee Rice. And I think so much in the NFL lately with the stuff going on at Georgia, everything, that's where our brain goes. But at the end of the day, he was involved in a fatal car accident and he wasn't criminally charged for it. So I think you just got to take it for what it is and hope mentally is okay. I mean, you think about some of the effects of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and stuff and some of the stuff he was involved in. Like, there is a human element of this that goes beyond that has to be explored in the 30verse. It's because getting your mental right, it's important too. And I think the Chiefs have witnessed that firsthand with a couple of players they've had.
I think that's a good point you made there. Round 1, pick 23. Arizona State right tackle, Maxi Iheanacho.
Yeah, this is a nod to I do think the Chiefs are in on tackle, and I think this is a great guy for them to take. Obviously, you start with the fact that he's a natural right tackle. That's where he's played exclusively. You also look at the fact that he is recently new to football. He's only played football for about 4 years, a basketball convert guy. The movement skills with him are something that's really exciting, really special. He does have requisite length. I'm not going to call him overly long as far as a player, but I think that with some time and some development, this could really project into a starting right tackle for you long term. I liked him. He's one of my more favorite tackles.
Andy
in this
Reid
class.
would love the feet.
Yes, and
Max.
and
Max is very athletic.
Yeah, and that's really where you go, right? Like, you just go right to those feet and see how he held up against David Bailey and say, like, David Bailey's primary trait is speed. And
he did great against him.
And also you think about comparing him to, like, Blake Miller at Clemson. He started 4 years at Clemson, 45 games. This is a guy whose technique is refined. Iheanacho's just kind of out there making it up, like not really, but the hands can definitely use some work. But for him to have the movement skills and the athleticism that he does to compete at that level with how little football he's played, that's what you're really talking about.
Yeah, you don't see this combination very often.
Yeah.
I do.
And it's like a 4.91, not that it matters, but it shows how
I do like Iheanacho. If the Chiefs were to go right tackle or, higher in the draft, he would be one of the guys I would want them to take. I'm not in on Maui Noah because there's a lot of speculation he might be a guard. Fano is a hell no, because I think he absolutely is a guard. He got shorter arms than Will Campbell does, and Will Campbell probably needs to play guard. I think guys like Iheanacho, maybe a Blake Miller, someone in that range, like late first, early second, if they wanted to go right tackle, or even if you're like, hey, let's take Crown over round 4 and develop him, sit him for a year behind Jalen Moore and just have him learn. I'm fine with that too. It's just 9, no.
And 29 and 40 were my hardest spots in my mock, just trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do here? What makes the most sense? I had them kicking up to 23 with Philly in this trade in order to facilitate it, which they've got a history with trading with Philly.
They do.
And I kind of secretly think that Philly's putting together a war chest to maybe supplant Jalen Hurts in the near future.
I think Veach likes dealing with Roseman.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a natural chemistry there, so they kick back a little bit, and the Chiefs kick up, and I do think that they might have to get aggressive to try to get their tackle if they want him in the back end of the first.
Okay, so we got to get to a break here. When we get back, we'll finish up your mock here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
You know what scared Kathy more than surgery? Giving up her active life, turning down opportunities to do the things she loves.
I found myself saying, no, I don't want to do that because of pain. It was really limiting my activities in every way.
And then came the diagnosis.
You need 2 full knee replacements. I don't have time for a double knee replacement, and I don't like pain, so no.
But that's not how her story ends. She tried something different, QC Kinetics. It was cutting edge, but natural and much easier on her body, with thousands of patient success stories.
I went to QC Kinetics. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free, no pain. I feel fantastic. Too much life to live, and I want to stay in motion as long as I possibly can.
Don't let pain decide what you say yes or no to. Live your best life. They'll make sure of it at QC Kinetics, starting with a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber, connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
When your AC starts breaking down, AB May is here to help your house feel like a home again. Serving Kansas City for over 65 years, AB May handles it all from AC repairs and upgrades to indoor air quality. When it comes to your home, solved is our standard, and AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Trusted by generations. Call AB May at 913-383-2222 or visit abmay.com today.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of Blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
Back in here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan. Kristen Ocero, Jay Binkley, Jackson Ogden, joined in studio by Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict. And we're continuing your mock draft that you put out earlier this week for the Chiefs, a 7-round mock draft. And now we're on to the second round. And at round 2, pick 40, you took defensive tackle from Florida. My team, Caleb Banks.
Yeah, I like to try when I write these big predictive mocks, I like to try to not only think about what they're doing and what their thresholds are, but also kind of create a narrative around what, when you're looking back at the big picture. Here, we've taken 3 guys, their average weight is about 295 pounds, right? We're getting bigger in the trenches. We're focusing on the line of scrimmage. That's an Andy Reid thing. That's an Eagles philosophy from back in the old days. This falls under the category of Spags can't help himself. No. God didn't make many men like Caleb Banks, and his ability, his size, his movement, to do what he did at the combine on a broken foot, by the way.
And he got good news today about that.
Yes, yeah, I did see that it looks like he's going to be hopefully ready to start football activities this summer. And watching Caleb Banks highlights is a transcendental experience. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Watching a full game of Caleb Banks, not so cool. There are moments on Caleb Banks tape that you go, there it is. He's a guy that I have struggled with this class because you talk about how weird the season was for him, where he wasn't going to play, then he was going to play. It sounds like the family might have gotten involved with like, hey, you're losing draft stock. And then he goes out at the Senior Bowl, has a great first day. He's talking trash and everything. Day 2, day 3, he's on the ground a lot, still talking trash. And then the combine, I'm glad we got clarity that he did injure himself at the combine, because at first it just kind of seemed like, oh, my shoe felt weird, I'm going to stop doing drills. And it's like, what? But
the foot.
Now it's his foot, which is very clearly an issue. But yeah, this is just a bet on upside. This is a bet on like, hey, one of his comps is Chris Jones. And by the way, he kind of plays like Chris Jones a little bit, like, hey, we'll stop the run on the way to the quarterback.
This was remember we were in mid-season and the Chiefs were sitting in the teens for the first round, and I was like, Caleb Banks. That's the
Caleb Banks early.
Caleb Banks is, I mean, and you know, it's not just my Florida bias speaking here. Chris Jones has been my comp for him, just from a physical standpoint.
This is right after the Senior Bowl, I think.
Yeah, just from a stylistic standpoint, it has always been Chris Jones. It is a risk with the foot. That does concern me, but this is very much an upside pick, and I think Caleb Banks has the potential to be the best defensive player in this class if he lives up to his potential. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of that pick there. And then because of the trade that you did with you did with Ian Nachor, do not have a 3rd round pick, a 74, but you did get a 4th round pick back. So with the first 4th round pick, this was the Chiefs' natural 4th round pick. You had the Chiefs taking South Carolina safety Jalen Kilgore.
Yeah, and I think this fits that mold of that big slot guy who can, you know, depending on what board you're looking at him, I just looked him as a DB. This is a well the Chiefs have went to. This was kind of the thing around L'Jarius Sneed when he was taken. Same with Shamari Connor. I think he offers a different skill set than Shamari Connor as far as his size and his length is more impressive. I think you put him in the slot and hope he's a big nickel, or you use him in that kind of hybrid role in the box. I don't see him playing on the outside, and he stepped into this role occasionally in the years past for Nicky Manwari when Nicky Manwari was injured. I like the length, I like the ball skills, I like the ability to get physical and press. I just think that this is a guy that they're gonna like, and something that I always factor in on day 2 and on into day 3 is like, what kind of impact can this guy make on special teams? He's certainly going to be able to factor in there as well too. Andy Reid, if you include, or not Andy Reid, Brett Veach, if you include Shamari Connor, has drafted 11 defensive backs since he took over the job. 9 of them have been on day 3. The only day 2 pick, Noah Williams. The only day 1 pick, Trent McDuffie. So this is their second corner they've taken on, or this is going back to that day 3 tendency that they have at corner. So that's why I went there.
And then the other 4th round pick, this one is 5 picks later, your guy Bink. North Carolina State tight end Justin Jolly.
Yeah, and you know, this kind of goes back to something we we're talking about in the previous segments, that you're looking at the Chiefs 30 visit, you're looking at a couple of Chiefs. Caleb Banks was in on a 30 visit, Justin Jolie was in on a 30 visit. I will say he's got one of the most fun reps that, you know, you always find these kind of out of context reps. He's got a touchdown that he scores about 15 yards out. He gets a hammy and he does what is that famous video game clip with the Packers guy?
Oh yeah, he put the team on his back though. Yeah. Darren Sharp.
He did that.
I know
I'll shout his family out too. I always love this about the draft process. Whenever players or their families engage, if I tweet I like Justin Jolie, 3 of his family members are going to retweet me.
Yeah.
But speaking to the player, right? Like, this is a guy who is going to be a receiving first tight end. Now, if we're talking about those type of guys, this is much more of a blocker than Eli Stowers. Like, Eli Stowers is a glorified
He
wide
cannot
receiver.
block.
Yeah.
Like, not at all.
Jolie can, but it's going to look a lot more like Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he goes up and gets it.
Yeah, but he's probably one of the higher upside pass catchers. He was used in a lot of move roles. He's bigger than Harold Fannin, but kind of reminds me a little bit of him. I comped him to Isaiah Likely, which is I think a fairly good comp, but the receiving upside is nice, and he's a good yak threat. He was very predictable. He's not going to be a Y, but he'll be a movable F. Do I wish that the Chiefs would go get an inline Y, a guy who can dig out of a defensive end and stuff? Absolutely. Do I think that they will? Absolutely not.
No, they're not. We know if they're going to get that kind of guy, he's going to be a free agent, 1-year deal kind of guy.
Yes.
It was in his early 30s.
That was a nod to that.
Yeah. Then the next pick, first of the 3 fifth-round picks, you have them taking a guy that I think Mahomes would be very happy with, Texas Tech wide receiver Reggie Virgil.
Yeah, this is a question I've been asking myself all throughout the draft. What is the likelihood of a Texas Tech Red Redder coming to Kansas City? They're wearing his logo on their jersey. First off, I think it's so cool what he is doing with the NIL stuff. I don't know any other player in the league that's doing what he's doing with the branding and how invested he is in Texas Tech. And obviously, Cody Campbell, the Texas billionaire oil hedge guy, he's obviously a big part of that as well, too.
Didn't he put that virtual reality room in there, too?
Yeah,
Bob?
yeah. I mean, he has like 5 or 6 athletes, and it's not just football. There's softball, there's basketball. He's got 5 or 6 athletes that he puts on the field with his NIL contribution solely. But I've wondered, like, is there going to be a Texas Tech guy? And
also Liberty North wears his uniforms.
Yeah, which is awesome. Very, very cool. Here I give them a wide receiver. This is, if I'm criticizing my own mock, I would say probably I didn't address corner as early as I'd like to, and I didn't address wide receiver as early as I'd like to. Here with Reggie Virgil, they get a skill set similar to Tyquan Thornton. You're going to get a field stretcher. The Chiefs have been sniffing around these guys. They bring in Cardinal Tate for a 30 visit. They bring in Ted Hurst. This is like if Cardinal Tate's the name brand. Ted Hurst is like the Kirkland brand. Reggie Virgil's great value. Like, we're going to get a guy who's going to stretch the field, dynamic with the ball in his hands, tracks the ball pretty well. We're going to look at a guy who's a high yards per attempt guy. Not overwhelming yak. The hands are okay. He's okay at the catch point. He's not overwhelming in size like a Ted Hurst or a Cardinal Tate. But this is a guy that they've kind of sniffed around. I comped it to Troy Franklin. He's bigger than Troy Franklin, not as productive as Franklin was at Oregon. But I just think that this is another profile that they've kind of been sniffing around, continue to open up the middle of the field for Kelsey Rice and Kenneth Walker.
So we need to get to another break, but we'll finish your final 3 picks of your mock draft coming up next here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Drew McIntyre here from WWE. Wielding the Claymore can be a life of chaos. When I'm not dominating in the ring, Chumba Casino is how this warrior takes a wee break. With hundreds of online social games and new weekly releases, there's always something fresh to try. And those daily boosts, next level. Even my free time feels like Valhalla. So when life feels like a battle, kick up your feet, have some fun, and let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
Hey, Mom. Now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mo's and Sons.
Well, boy, it's getting hot out there. Now, if your AC is making funny noises, just needs a once-over, or your home isn't as cool as it used to be, visit cmmosandsons.com. CM Mo's and Sons. License 202919.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, benefits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Odyssey Sports Draft coverage is presented nationally by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the Bet365 app and lock in your picks before the game begins. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in select states only. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
This show is flying by. We're about to finish up the second of 3 hours here at the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special. We got Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict in studio. And we're talking his mock draft that he put out earlier this week. And with the second of the fifth round picks, you took Bink's guy, the safety out of Miami, Jacoby Thomas.
Yeah, I wish there was a way I could turn this into Keontae Scott because I do really love Keontae Scott. But I mean, truth be told, I just love this Miami defense, and they just got heat-seeking missiles all over it. And Thomas is one of those guys who's very useful as a blitzer. He was just a force coming downhill. There's some players that tackle, and there's some players that love to tackle, and he appears to love to tackle.
He was either one or two in all their playoff games. I mean, he was the one that bloodied Mendoza.
Yeah,
in that game,
and that's something I love too. Watching the tape between him wearing 8 and Keontae Scott wearing 0. Sometimes you can't really tell which is which is just really fun. Like, it's just like their play styles are so similar.
I just like the interceptions, he's the ball hawk, the sacks, 3.5. I mean, the guy was everywhere.
The biggest thing is he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife for the defense. And in today's NFL, you were kind of talking about this with Kilgore in the last segment. It's like nowadays everybody's going with that big nickel. Like you see it with Emmett Warry in Seattle, see it with Kyle Hamilton in Baltimore. You even saw it in Los Angeles with what's his name, Derwin James.
Yeah.
And so, like, all these teams are now starting to get to play that big nickel position. And so, yeah, I mean, it's something. I mean, that's the reason why, like, if the Chiefs were to decide at 9 they want to go Caleb Downs and say, hey, we want this big nickel type in our defense, it would make sense. Now, I don't know if that's the best usage of a top 10 pick in that position, but if Spags was rallying super hardcore for Caleb Downs, who I think we're all in agreement is probably the best player in his draft class just in terms of sheer talent, then we would understand because, like, hey, you're trying to, increase the upside of the defense there. So it makes sense. Yeah.
And, always a nod to, like, he's been a special teams contributor as well, blocked field goal in his career, like that as well, too. And I venture that they will probably draft a safety. You need about 4 or 5 throughout the season. Hopefully this doesn't mean the end of Jaden Hicks because I think there's still upside left in him as a player.
But it ain't looking great after 2 years.
He took a bit of a step back last
Gilman
year.
signing was big for him because you oftentimes look at free agency where they dabbled and where they didn't. Edge and wide receiver, one of those areas they didn't want to pay that price. That's the one thing with wide receivers that I've been so high on with Chris. You get that 4 years of control unless they're first round. You get 5. You don't have to pay that Alec Pierce tax, who got $29 million and never had 50 catches in the NFL. You stay away from that.
So with your final 5th round pick, you took Indiana linebacker Aiden Fisher.
Yeah, and this is
I love that guy, by the way.
Yeah, and this is a position that I think could sneak up on us a little bit of the Chiefs drafting them. Obviously, they lose Leo Chanel. There are some players that fit Leo Chanel's profile a little bit better. I like Caleb Elam's Orr from TCU.
You like Bryce Betchard from Oregon?
Yep, I like him too. And Kyle Lewis is, a very different style player. But there's
Kyle Lewis is almost in that big nickel category.
But I do think that linebacker could be a position that really sneaks up on us. Aiden Fisher, interesting. Dane Brugler doesn't really do many comps in the Beast, but he comped him to Drew Tranquill. And he was the eyes and the ears of that Indiana defense. He's a team captain, has all the intangibles, profiles a guy who's just going to come in and work his butt off and be a guy who can rotate in. And, the Chiefs are going to need 3 or 4 linebackers. So whether this is a Drew Tranquill replacement, a Leo Chanel replacement, I just think it gives yourself insurance.
I think people are sleeping, too, on how good that defense was at Indiana. Everybody always looked at Mendoza and that offense. They were the second-ranked defense in the country.
So good. Defense was
Everybody was talking about Miami's defense and stuff like that in national time.
They were good on defense.
They were so
Indiana was actually the better defense.
You watch them move, like when you're watching, ponds. You watch them move. It's like synchronized swimming. Like the way that they move and shift in their zones. It's a work of beauty.
They were number 2 scoring defense in the country.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were all, and they didn't. It wasn't like they were full of a bunch of stars like you saw in Miami.
It was like Ponds. And
Fisher it was like Ponds is good, Fisher's good, but like you're not talking about like a whole bunch of like blue chip. These guys are going to be stars in the league type players.
Michael Kamara is going to get drafted. CJ West got drafted last year, but like there's not, and the same for that offensive line, which also played really well.
I think people were sleeping on how good that defense really
was. Was it Pat Coogan is his name, the center? That's a dude. Yeah, he slept on for their whole line. He slept on. And then for your final pick, you had at pick 210 of round 6, you had Toledo cornerback Andre Fuller.
Yeah, and Toledo has really done a good job of putting some of these guys in the league here lately in the secondary, whether it be the corner that Philly took, or obviously Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I'm probably not the first, second, or third person to make that slip up.
Yeah.
But Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, and this is a traitsy guy who gets a little grabby at times and is physical at the line of scrimmage, limited ball production. All those things sound like a Chiefs cornerback. This is just another gamble, and I wanted to make sure I came out with a guy who can play in the slot, because obviously Kader Kohou's in here on a 1-year deal coming off the ACL, and I want to give myself a guy who can play on the outside. So this is just a guy that I thought, honestly, if you pull up his mock draftable profile, that one of the most similar profiles, Christian Fulton. So that's why I went here, just kind of their type of guy on day 3. This is your Jalen Watson, your Josh Williams type of gamble.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, like I said, we very much are in lockstep with like positions they need to hit on, and so yeah, I mean, look. We all know, at this point now, I think we have a pretty good idea of what positions they'll take. It's just a matter of where they take them. And that value is going to be really interesting to see. Coming up next, we'll talk trades. There's a lot of rumors swirling around. Chiefs trading up, maybe trading down. We'll get your take on it here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here at 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Shane Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship, because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack. Jack had a home he needed to sell fast. And Jack thought he had it all figured out. So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers. Jack chose the highest offer. But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out, leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do. Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer. Jack got suckered. Make sure you aren't hung out to dry. Call our dad at Rex Buys KC. Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals. No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises. Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process. Now, don't be like Jack. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Introducing Bluebell Pro, a dessert with up to 12 grams of protein and 110 calories or less per serving. Low fat, no added sugars, and gluten-free. Dig into a pint. It's more than just protein. It's Bluebell Pro. Never has high protein tasted so good.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream in your local grocer. If you can't find it, ask for it.
JR and Company offers a lifetime workmanship warranty on every residential roof. Why? Because our roofers are that good. Kinda makes you wonder about the other guys. JR and Company, home of the free online storm check at jrstormcheck.com.
This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Back in here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan. Chris Nocero, Jay Binkley, Jackson Ogden on the other side. Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict in studio.
Price
here.
Pumpkin Pie Carter.
Yeah, he blessed you with a piece of his pumpkin pie.
Tribute
in the
to
break.
the GOAT, Mel Kiper. He eats a slice of pumpkin pie and a glass of milk every single morning. That's
every morning.
Every single morning, he eats the same thing, which I can kind of appreciate some uniformity. Like
That's weird. Okay, that's weird.
It's like Jim Nance and his toast.
Look, I eat the same thing every morning too, but it's not a glass of milk and a piece of pumpkin
Well, Nick
pie.
Saban does 2 oatmeal cream pies and a cup
Yes,
of
he
black
does.
coffee.
Well, oatmeal cream pie.
And Jim Nance is his toast. But no, I'm glad you brought up Kuiper because I was going to talk about it a couple weeks ago, 40 years. And when he started doing it, like no one did mocks or nothing. Like he was kind of, love him or hate him, we are where we are because of Mel.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, he's one of the people that you can just see him and instantly think of his voice, right?
We're probably not doing the show.
Yeah. Oh, for real. 100%. And he's the godfather of it all. So that's why, like, do I think Mel might not be as sharp as he once was on some of this stuff? Probably.
I mean, I think you could make a case that he wasn't that sharp even back then, but he was entertaining because he's had some really bad takes over the years.
Him and McShay when they were together.
Remember, we were about 15 years removed from him saying that he was going to quit being a draft expert if Jimmy Clausen wasn't a good NFL quarterback. And Jimmy Clausen was not a good NFL quarterback. I think we could all see that coming from a mile
Mel
away.
had some good relationships with agents.
Oh, yeah, of course. All these guys, I mean, you clearly see it now. Pelissero is out here doing favors for Carson Beck's agent. Yeah, all these guys have good relationships with these agents.
Just like when the combine came out, they go, well, he's two guys had him clocked a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it's like, dude, I don't care what they have lasers to figure out what these times are.
Two GMs had him a lot faster.
Yeah, it was Cornell Tate. They had him at 4.47. I was like, they literally have lasers to measure these.
And the GMs are
times.
sitting up in a suite, Starbucks in one hand, a stopwatch in the other. And I'm going to take their reading over the lasers on the field.
You literally had coaches falling asleep watching it, and you think I'm going to trust what some GM did with their stopwatch?
Well, tell it to the police when you get a speeding ticket. Say, well, I had two other
actually,
policemen said I was
there's
going a lot
somebody sitting
slower.
over there that had me going 55 instead of 60. No, that's not going to work. Yeah.
In the arm length.
Our NFL draft coverage here at 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Me and Big had this discussion a couple hours ago. A lot of talk about the Chiefs moving up, down in the first round. If the Chiefs were to move into the top 5, because there's talk about Cardinals at 3, Titans at 4. What do you think that indicates as far as who they're targeting?
I would venture to say that I think it's probably either they love Ruben Bain that much and they don't think that he's going to fall, or they think they have, that David Bailey is that speed rusher that they've not been able to unlock in this defense. And maybe hey, David, I know that he gets the reputation of just being a nothing against the run, but he does have reps on his tape where he's playing run defense and doing an adequate job. I think you just look at a little bit of like what was around him, whether it be Lee Hunter, Romello Height, Jacob Rodriguez. They're going to have a first-round corner next year. But I think it's Arvell Reese, and that's who I think it would be. And you look at, I think Hayden Winks did a good job of explaining this today on Twitter a little bit about kind of like, hey, you look at Brendan Daly, the defensive line coach. They had Jamie Collins in there. This is one of the profiles that's similar. Spags had a guy in New York that kind of profiled to Arvell Reese. Reese is going to set a really good edge for you. His floor as an off-ball linebacker is interesting too. Here's the thing, though. Like I don't think that they will make a trade, but I do think that if so, like maybe they just got really big hard eyes for Arvell Reese.
So Bink agrees. You agree, right?
I do agree because that's why I think they're gonna hold off. If they do make a move, it'll be when they're on the clock because to find out what the Jets do it too.
Well, yeah. Here's what I think, though. I think if the Chiefs move up into the top 5, it's for Jordan Tyson. Not for the edge rushers. And for the reason that we talked about last hour, I don't think that the edge rushers in the top 10 are that much different from the edge rushers you can take in the 20s.
Yeah.
And so because of that, now it's like, okay, well, who's a guy that has a lot of upside that we can draft that could be someone that could solve a problem that we have on our team for the next decade? And Jordan Tyson, I think, ticks that box. One, I think there's a very good chance Jordan Tyson does not make it past 5.
I agree.
I think it's a very good chance. He's definitely not making it past 10, but 5, very good chance. And you're talking about someone who has, I think, the most upside at receiver in this class. And I think that if you feel confident, the Chiefs feel confident enough in him to trade up to try to get him, I think they're thinking this is our receiver problem fixed for a long time. Now, any other receivers we take, we're good because they're going to be at best a number 2 or number 3 behind Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, and Jordan Tyson's interesting, right? Like, I think there's a lot to factor in there. First off, obviously, it's the injuries. Whether it's at pick 9, if they do a slight move up, like they want to hop the Saints and the Commanders for Tyson. But I also think beyond the injuries, there are questions about how Tyson looks in this offense. You look at the movement skills, he moves like a wide receiver 1. The way that he glides, the way that he goes up and gets the ball, the way he cuts in and out of his breaks, how he works over the middle of the field. But he's kind of an interesting profile. When you come away from watching Tyson, besides the movement skills, what is his calling card? It's not yak. It's not winning at the catch point. Like, he's not some, contested catch demon. He's good at everything, not crazy good at one thing. Like, and that's where I come to him, and just like, what would his role look like in the offense? Because honestly, like, I know this is kind of a weird comparison, but if I'm thinking about players that the Chiefs have had that resemble him in stature and the way that they move, probably the closest comp is DeMarcus Robinson, as far as the way that they move up and down the field. And Robinson was useful, but doesn't conjure images of wide receiver 1. Whereas what the Chiefs really like, and something I've been really big on, in the Brett Veach era, they have never drafted a wide receiver on day 1 or day 2 that doesn't rank in the 90th percentile or more of 10-yard split. Tyson, we didn't get that testing information, but I don't think he's the guy that falls into that category.
No, I agree with you. I just definitely do not think he is that high a percentile when it comes to the 10-yard split. And I think you can kind of see that on tape. But
missing 18 to 51 games.
Yeah, but the thing that's interesting to me about him, though, one, like, incredible release off the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Like, just by far the best release of
26 reps on the bench press. That's a guy that is going to be able to beat press man coverage.
He cheated a little bit on those.
Yeah,
I watched those. He had that back arched up a little bit too much. I was like, those don't count. If I did that at my gym, my coach would be like, bro, those don't count. Those are fake reps.
We need Pablo Torre to investigate the NFL Combine in general with the arm measurements. And
if you could take a foam roller and put it underneath the bottom of his back when you're doing bench reps, that is not a bench rep.
Yeah.
But I will say this, the release is really good. Like, to me, the big thing, though, is, like, we talk a lot about man coverage. And, like, you look at, like, Rashee Rice, man coverage issues. Xavier Worthy's had some man coverage issues this year, though, I think injuries played a big part of that. But, like, even a guy like Mekhi Lemon has man coverage issues to a certain extent. I think he's a lot better against zone. You don't really have that with Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson's a lot better against man coverage than any of the guys that the Chiefs have or the guys that we like that they could take. And so, like, to me, you're talking about you're getting someone that is in line with a lot of the things the Chiefs like in receivers, but now you're getting someone that can solve a problem that you have on your team that you don't have with anyone
else.
His
hands got better because he was hovering around 9% drop rate.
He had 7 drops in
it's
24.
Like 1.5 last year.
Last year he had 1 drop last year.
But he had a drop issue 2 years ago.
He did. He had 7 drops in 24.
Yeah, and if we're looking at this glass half full, like you're looking at this and say, like, okay, broken collarbone, that happens to a lot of guys in the league. It's kind of a freak thing. Like, it happened to Tyreek. The ACL, like, that was the ACL and PCL, I believe. Like, that happened a long time ago. He's already proven that he's come back from that and been healthy. The soft tissue is the one that scares you the most, just because, like, all right, this is a guy who moves differently, and he's having soft tissue injuries that seem to take a long time to heal.
He wasn't healed by the time the combine.
Yeah, so I think that's the concern there for the injuries. But if the Chiefs do, whether it's trading up or they take him at 9, I think you feel good that they've got a vision for how they want to use this player. And then it's just like, are the injuries going to hold up? And I think you're making a play out like, hey, this is a wide receiver 1. This is in a realm that we never draft, and that we're going to give Patrick Mahomes the next weapon for the next iteration of this offense beyond Travis Kelce. And I mean, frankly, you look at the Chiefs wide receiver core right now, there's not exactly a ton of snaps out there to get. I mean, surely you can, take Xavier Worthy off the field or take Tyquan Thornton off, and Rashee Rice might take himself off the field. But, like,
yeah, he might.
Tyson, like, I think there's a real chance that the Chiefs take Jordan Tyson, and we look down in week 3 or week 4, and it's like he played 18 snaps, the top 10 pick. Yeah. And it's like it's probably going to be a long-term play there with him. But he has the highest ceiling of any receiver in the class.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why, if they do move up, it's to get someone with the high ceiling that he has. Because I just think his game translates really well to the league. And I think when we're talking about, defenses getting bigger, like DBs are getting a lot bigger now because teams understand, hey, these guys got to come up and make tackles too. We need guys that are really versatile. Then you're going to need someone who is a little bit bigger, a little bit better against those more physical corners to be able to go out there and win one-on-one.
For sure. Yeah, and I mean he has those traits and he has the ability to do that. And I think you look at just kind of what else is available. You have the consensus top 3 wide receivers are all very different profiles. Like people talk about Carnell Tate like he's this big bulking guy. He's really
he's not as big as people think.
Yeah, he's basically the same size as Tyquan Thornton is right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Thornton's 180 anymore. I think he's probably closer to 190. He's put on some weight. They're basically the same type of player. It's just that
he's not as fast as Thornton.
And Tate has just proven to be better at the catch point, and you're looking at the helmet and saying, okay, this Ohio State guy, and he's never been a number 1, but he's been playing against guys who are, going to be, all first-round picks as well. So, and then you've got Lemon, who is a much different style of player, and where everyone thinks that Carnell Tate is so big, people talk about Mekhi Lemon like he's so small, when in reality he's very normal stature. He's about an inch shorter and about 5 to 10 pounds less than Jamar Chase.
He plays bigger.
Yeah, and he plays bigger, and like if we're talking about the most natural fit for the Chiefs offense, it's Mekhi Lemon. And we were talking about Traeger's mock where he had the Chiefs kicking back, taking Bain at 12, and they do that 12 and 29 swap with the Cowboys, and they take Omar Cooper Jr. at 20. I'd rather that be Mekhi Lemon or Casey Concepcion than Omar Cooper personally. But I think Lemon's the best fit for like a volume receiver that can come in here, win out of the slot, line up out wide, plays bigger than his size. All those things, they really line up with the Chiefs. And that West Coast offense, the Lincoln Riley influence, the Chiefs have liked players from that scheme historically.
Yeah, Lincoln would not Lincoln. Mekhi Lemon, you know how we feel. We love him a lot. He would be the easiest transition for sure because of his ability to kill zone.
Yeah, and I'm not wagering on this, but I would not be shocked at all if they just come to the podium. There's all this Jordan Tyson smoke, and Mekhi Lemon's the name.
It's possible.
It's
very possible.
I would not be upset if they took Mekhi Lemon at 9. No. It would surprise me a little bit just from what we've heard about his profile and where his draft stock is. But look, man, he's not falling to 29, and you'd have to trade up pretty high because I think that area with the Ravens and the Dolphins, and there's some teams there that I think would the Rams.
He's the odds-on favorite betting-wise for pick 13.
Yeah.
It's kind of where you
go. Yeah, I don't think he makes it out of 15. So if you want to get him, you got to take him in the top 15.
He's one of those guys that's exactly where the Chiefs want, where no one's talking about it. They're talking about Tyson. They're talking about Bain. They're talking about offensive linemen.
Yeah.
They're not talking about him.
Talking about corner. They got Mansour Delane on half the mocks.
And that's what you want.
Yeah, and I mean, which pair would you rather have? Would you rather have Bain and Omar Cooper, or would you rather have Mekhi Lemon and Zion Young or T.J. Parker? I kind of lean towards the latter a little bit, as much as I
would lean towards the latter for sure.
Fun.
Coming up next, we're going to do our mock draft roundup. Who are the experts, or quote-unquote experts, mocking to the Chiefs in the first round? We'll find out next here on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dan and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible. plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself, Rob Bretton, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Is your garage door dropping the ball? Get a free repair or replacement quote from Renner Garage Door. Renner is America's oldest family-owned garage door company that serves both wholesale and retail markets. Right now, get $100 off a new garage door when you mention this ad. With trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, you know it's built to win. Renner's also hiring experienced techs and installers. RennerDoor.com.
RENNER.
Hey, it's Scott Parks, and we've launched Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's largest sporting event, presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. Subscribe on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Look, we all have those moments where we have to say no. No to a round of golf, no to a long walk, or even just no to getting out of the chair because your knees or your back aren't cooperating. But as we head into vacation season, think about the people waiting for you to say yes. Your family, your friends, they want the real you back, the one who isn't sidelined by chronic pain. I want to help you turn that corner. At QC Kinetics, they specialize in regenerative treatments that get you back in the game without surgery or without endless recovery months. Be honest with yourself for a second. Does joint pain keep you up at night? Are you at the end of your rope leaning on daily meds just to get through a shift at work? If you're nodding your head, you're exactly who QC Kinetics helps every single day. The best part, it's done right in their office with no downtime. So call them today for that free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. They're located off 435 in State Line or in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Moes & Son. Coming to terms with a dying AC unit is tough. If you need to replace your AC, visit cmmosandson.com to schedule your free estimate. CM Moes & Son. License 202919. Terms and conditions apply.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
Jay Binkley's going to be very happy because we got those NFL draft vignettes that we play after every one of the first round picks.
Dive into
Unless
those.
someone gets crazy and drafts someone who shouldn't be taken in the first round.
So we always get these draft vignettes from affiliates like Fox Sports or send them or something.
It's usually Fox Sports. It's like Fox Sports and like one other company that does it.
And they'll do like, they'll just Fernando Mendoza.
It's like a
Indian
minute-long
international
thing,
title,
yeah.
like a draft profile.
Be
type
real,
deal.
yeah.
It's like the radio version of the
One
Be
year,
Real. Yeah.
we were so off that we were sitting here on Saturday playing.
That was last year.
Because they weren't going in the
last year
first round.
we had Troy Franklin. I think it was like 3, but Troy Franklin was one of them, and he went like early 4th round. And we were saying, like, man, Troy Franklin still hasn't gone yet.
I was like, wait a minute, I got him.
Yeah, I was like, I know you looked at it, you checked it, it's like, oh, yeah, we do got Troy. Let's play that real quick.
That one surprised me a little bit. Like, if Xavier Worthy goes pick 28 and Troy Franklin goes
Because that 40 time.
Yeah.
That 40 time killed him.
Yeah, I think so. But, I mean, hey, you go pull up those two guys right next to each other on Football Reference.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that
The
different.
guy I really liked was Torrey Horton, who ended
Yeah.
up getting hurt for the Seahawks. He
Yeah.
ended up with like 3 touchdowns before he was hurt. He was a really versatile player for him.
So let's get to our mock draft rundown. Bink.
Mock draft roundup.
Roundup. I keep messing the word up.
What do you call it?
I said rundown.
Oh, right. Same thing. Who cares?
Roundup.
Who cares?
We've been calling it the roundup for a while. So
Mock
let's keep
draft
it going.
roundup where I look at 25. I do this every single show that I'm on. We look at 25 mocks that come out either today or tomorrow from all over the place, from PFF to ESPN to NFL.com. You name it, Arrowhead Addict. I mean, we use everybody. We use everybody. And what we do is take 9 and 29 and put the position where you have the most out of the 25. For example, pick 9, Edge came in the highest with 10 out of 25 mocks were Edge. Cornerback, actually offensive tackle came in second with 6. Cornerback came in with 5. Wide receiver 3. 1 safety. You can guess who that is for pick 9. Pick 29, cornerback ruled the roost. 9 out of the 25. Edge was 4 out of the 25. Offensive tackle, 3 out of the 25. Defensive line, 1. Safety, 1. Wide receiver, 5. This is where you saw more wide receivers than 9. Still not a ton, but the more than last time, definitely. And 2 tight ends, including Eli Raridan. Which I'm not sure how that
I
ended
said
up
this
there.
2 hours ago. I was like, if the Chiefs draft Eli Raridan in the first round, I'm calling for Veach's head.
I like to think I'm the highest on Eli Raridan, and I would be offended.
I would
like
tell
him
you
a lot,
this.
too.
I
But like
don't-
in the 4th round.
I don't care if he drafts every other pick with a player I love. Like, I'm gonna be calling for his job if he drafts Raridan in round 1.
Yeah, I wonder if Colton Hood has already got the real estate agent looking in Kansas City.
There was a lot of Colton Hood in here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they've all lined up on that. Just like every time, I truly wonder if some of it's like, hey, I've said this guy's going to go in the first round because there for a while, like post Senior Bowl, he was trending towards like second corner draft.
He was trending top 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
Francis
He had,
Maui
he had a really good Senior Bowl week, and so he was looking top 15. He was looking like possibly above even Mansour Delane as the top corner.
Yeah, the most players were Mansour Delane was probably the most players. Ruben Bain right there with him as well, and then a lot of Francis Malinois from Miami on there. We've seen a lot more Jermod McCoy in other deals because of the White House, Texas, going to Mahomes football camp as a kid type comparisons. But Colton Hood seemed, and a few Brandon Ceesays.
Yeah, McCoy's interesting. I mean, I was a lot more in on him at pick 9 until some of this recent stuff has come out with his knee, which sounds like it could be the other knee, not the one he had the ACL injury in.
Could you imagine that secondary with Colton Hood and him if he's healthy last year?
Oh yeah, I mean that's special stuff, especially when you think Hood was playing with Travis Hunter the year before at Colorado. Like there's some really exciting stuff there with McCoy. And I mean everything that we said about Tyson, copy and paste it to Jermod McCoy. Like has the highest ceiling, has traits that no one else in the class have. His 2024 tape is better than any corner tape in this class, and he was doing that when he was 20 years old. The question is is he going to be healthy? Can he do it? And I think again, like going back to Peter Schrager's mock, if the Chiefs were to move back, that kind of affords them some luxury to exist in that space where like, hey, we could take player X at 12 and then pick 20 is not that far away if we wanted to do a Jermod McCoy.
Yeah. Kenyon Sadiq was one of them. That was the popular one during the season. Obviously, it was mostly him that we moved in. Jeremiah Love was terrible. It was like 14 out of 25. There's so many Jeremiah Loves. 2 trades for Arvell Reese for the Chiefs to trade up if that was a scenario.
One interesting name on one of these mocks. At 29, Vinny Iyer from Sporting News had the big time since the beginning of the season. They had Peter Woods listed. Like some people had him as the top player. Some people had him easily as the top defensive player, and obviously, top defensive tackle. But he went from being someone who was top 5, maybe top 10, all the way now to possibly being a second-round pick. How do you feel about Peter Woods?
It's been a really interesting journey with him, and I think the parallels between him and T.J. Parker are a little bit interesting too, because you can copy and paste this analysis for pretty much any of the guys at Clemson about how poor their season went.
Just wonder what happened from a team that made the playoffs the year before.
Yeah, and just how fast it went poorly. But you look at what T.J. Parker's done through this draft process versus Peter Woods. And Peter Woods, I mean, his stock was through the ceiling, like you described at the beginning of the season. He's a top 10 guy on the freaks list, Bruce Feldman's prestigious list of the most athletic freaks in college football. He's just turned 21 years old and came into this class looking like he was next. He was the cream of the cream as far as interior defensive lineman, and just didn't really put it together. He has some flashes there where he can win as a 3 or 4-eye technique. The pass rush upside, it's there, but the production was just down so much. And then you kind of talk about what is his profile? So he comes into the combine sub 200 pounds or sub 300 pounds. and you're thinking, okay, well, this guy's about to come out here. He's on the freaks list. He's about to put on a show. Well, he doesn't run. 6'2", 298, which would be the 30th percentile for defensive tackles. By the way, we talk about arm length. 5th percentile arms for him, 31 1/4.
Did they measured him at 31 1/4?
Yep, that's what they got him at the combine, and 9 1/8 hand size. So kind of sneaky small too.
That's not sneaky
and
small.
Then,
that's small.
Yeah, and then he goes to his pro day, comes out at 300, and isn't able to finish the pro day because of injuries. We only get a 10-yard split on him. So, and I mean, you go look over at the mock draftable profiles for him. There's not a lot of guys that look like him in the league that are doing it. Jerzon Newton, which is a guy who a couple years ago had a foot injury. By
Illinois
the way.
kid, right?
And he was honestly, you kind of talk about their draft processes, kind of similar. Like he was a guy at one point was considered like a lock for the first round, fell on into day 2. So he's a guy that it sounds like some people are starting to buy the dip a little bit. Like Todd McShay's been talking a little bit that the Ravens are kind of interested in him. The Texans are a frequent place to mock him. He's going to have value in this class because he's one of the few penetrating 3 techniques that I think you can get, like whether it be him or Grayson Holton or a guy that I like that the Chiefs brought in, Renee Conga from Louisville. There's just not a lot of guys like him in this class. There's a lot of really talented nose tackles in this class, but different style players.
It's funny you brought up Renee Conga. Interesting player because to me, I think he's a very nice sleeper at 3 tech.
He's that great tweener body type.
Yeah. Like he's not like crazy small, but he's not like, imposingly big you would expect from a tackle.
And he reclassified early, so it's kind of interesting. He's a 5th-year guy, but he's 22 or 23.
Yeah.
And had a really good showing at the combine. And also, I think we're really underestimating how great it will sound when Mitch Holthus says, Conga and Tonga, meet at the quarterback. I put that in my write-up for him. I was like, dude, that just rolls off the tongue.
If that's the guy, one of the guys that they take that visited, yeah, he's definitely going to be, that's definitely, you already know Mitch is going to be coming up with stuff all off season.
I think, you kind of look at some of the profiles that they've had of guys where they can mix inside and out on early downs. And yeah, I just think that when we come bringing it back to Peter Woods, there's just not a lot of guys who move like him at the position. This is the lack of length, like whether it be Grayson Holton. He's another name from Oklahoma that kind of plays with that similar style. But I don't know, Oklahoma's defensive line rotates in a lot.
Well, it's also very important for Spags because one of the calling cards for his defense is their hands up. They block a lot of passes.
Yeah.
So we've had this discussion a lot about, because me and Bink are in agreement that first round, it has to be some combo of edge and receiver. We feel more strongly about the first tier receiver, so that being your Tates, your Tysons, your Lemons. But there's that second tier, that Cooper, that Concepcion, that Boston.
Brazel.
I don't really consider him part of the second tier. I know you do, but I don't really consider him. But let's say
I'm higher on Brazel than I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, you are. Let's include him in that second tier.
You've been watching that Georgia tape.
No, Chris Bell should be thrown. Chris Bell should be thrown in here.
No, absolutely not up the ACL. No,
I don't know, man. Chris Bell's starting to get a lot of attention.
I know he is second round. But let's say we're going in that second tier. And which combo would you be more into if that's the if we're going to go receiver edge round 1? Do you want receiver high, edge late, or do you want edge high, receiver late? Like how big of a difference do you think it is in the 2 tiers between receivers?
Yeah, I speaking to this earlier, I really think the gap between the top edge rushers, assuming that Arvell Reese is out of this conversation and that David Bailey's just not a great scheme fit, that I think the gap is pretty darn close between the edge defenders at the top and the back end of the first. So I think going wide receiver early makes a little bit more sense because I do think that the drop-off is steeper. For me, it goes Tate, Tyson, Lemon, and then I would have Casey Concepcion next. I think, I came away from watching Casey Concepcion and said, I think this is actually what the Chiefs wanted Xavier Worthy to be.
Yeah.
And it's just not manifested. And he's more dense. He's more big. He's more dynamic as a punt returner, tracks the ball well. The drops are an issue for him.
That 10% drop rate.
Yeah, the drops are definitely an issue for him.
Too much.
Yeah. And then, I'm not as overwhelmed by Omar Cooper as some other people are. Everyone talks about him like he's this yak demon, and I get that they run a really RPO heavy offense.
The Penn State game-winning catch put him on the map.
Yeah,
too.
and
you can't just look at that one catch.
Yeah, and he's highly effective, but he really glowed up when they started putting him in the slot.
It was Eli Surratt was the guy.
Yeah,
right. No Omar Cooper. Charlie Becker, I think, is actually the better receiver, but he's not in this draft till next year.
Yeah. We got to get to a break here, but coming up, we'll continue the talk here, and we'll also take some questions from y'all on the J Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7965. You're listening to the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. One contractor for all parking lot needs. By the Leavenworth PD. Step up. Stand out. Build your career at Leavenworth PD. Apply online today at leavenworthks.gov/police. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
My friends at Smokehouse Barbecue have 2 new items that you need to try. First, meet the Pickle Jack Sandwich. We're taking tender smoked ham and melted pepper jack cheese, piled high with our signature pickle fries. It's crunchy, spicy, and smoky as well. And if you need to warm up, how about some Smokehouse chili? It's not your average recipe. It's loaded with our famous chopped burnt ends and savory sausage. And don't forget carryout, which you can order at smokehousebbq.com. Visit Smokehouse Barbecue in Independence, Zona Rosa, and Gladstone. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. Ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome back to the Character Concerns Draft Special, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. And by the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for Salvation Army Civic Lunch on May 7th. This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Here's Jay Binkley and Chris Unocero.
Less than 20 minutes here left on the Character Concerns NFL Draft Special here on 96.5 The Fan. Chris Unocero, Jay Binkley, Jackson Ogden on the other side, Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict in studio. Let's get some questions from our listeners.
From the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. From the 816, is the Rashee Rice trade smoke or possibility? And how I think this falls into the draft is I don't see a possibility for that, because if it does happen, then you better draft some receivers.
Say that again?
The Rashee Rice trade, is smoke or possibility?
No,
they're not going to do it, because
they're
if
not
this
going to
happens,
get anything back
you better
for him.
What
are you going to get back for
You
him?
better have drafted wide receivers.
A 4th round pick?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
No.
I don't believe in that one either.
I don't think that's a possibility.
At this point, you're just hoping that he has a great season this year and you recoup a compensatory pick.
100%.
Because right now, Rashee Rice is that picture of like the record player that says doesn't work but could be fun to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's kind of right there what you're hoping for. So
he's like getting a PlayStation 2 at vintage stock and then hoping that the disc drive works and you're good. Yeah,
From 816, Monroe Freeling is the guy I'd go for at tackle. But the problem is,
he's a left tackle.
I do like him, but he is a left tackle, like you said.
That-
He would have to move to the right, which some guys could do it, but it's not the easiest step back if you're used to stepping back with your left.
That's my thing about Freeling. It's my thing about Caden Proctor.
I do like the guy.
Yeah, I mean, and Freeling also needs, both him and Proctor need a lot more work. Those aren't guys that are immediately going to be plug and play tackles. They're going to be growing pains. Going to take some time.
I do think he can make a run for the best left tackle, though.
Oh, here's the thing. I think Freeling and Proctor have the potential to be really good tackles at the NFL level. They need work, though. There's going to be some molding that's going to have to happen with them, because they're not going to come in and immediately be good, I don't think.
Yeah, Freeling, there's quite a bit of waist bending that happens. It feels like he's constantly, like, despite his length, over leveraging himself. And there's some ugly reps for him, for sure. So yeah, and again, like I just can't get behind that at 9.
Yeah, no, I'm and also again, I'm out on left tackle, and then we'll figure it out between him and Simmons who moves to the right side. That, to me, that's not a good plan.
From the 816 as well, you can get a guy just as good, in my opinion, at 29. Mesidor or Falk is who I'd go with.
Falk's not going to last to 29.
Yeah, Mesidor might not either, to be honest with you.
He might not. He might not.
Have to be early 20s for him.
I would love if Keldrick Falk made it to 29.
So much potential there. That's where you're banking on potential.
Yeah, I would love it, but I don't think he will.
I don't think the Chiefs will draft a player they've not drafted a player that old, period, as Mesidor. Like,
no, he's 25.
Yeah, and Brett Veach's era, and then like especially in the first round.
That's
like,
worse than D Ford when he was coming on his second contract. Because he was 28 going on 29.
Yeah, so that's just not something that they go to. I get the appeal of Mesidor, and I do completely understand about teams like, hey, we need someone who can come in right now and contribute, and like we'll figure out the rest later, which has really worked for the Rams. Like they've done that a couple of different times. It's just not something the Chiefs have really sniffed around.
If he were like a late second day, early third day, and you could get him as a good rotational guy, I think it would make sense. You're talking about late first round, and then using that, and then you're at top end probably going to get 5 years of him. And then you're talking about him falling off a cliff or him being too expensive at 30 years old to bring in. I just don't think it makes sense.
And as far as Akeem Mesidor, one of the problems there is his age right now. And you're going to see more and more of this with Nil.
Yeah.
Guys coming back and older guys, which is some position does help, but some position it hurts. When I see these running backs go back to college, it's like, what do you
Justice Haynes.
That's one of those positions you don't
Pissing
want
me
to do
off.
it. That's one of the positions that you definitely don't want to do it because you don't want that wear and tear on the body. There's some positions, yes, they do need to go back. It doesn't hurt them at all, but Nil is changing the game. You know, even Veach has talked about that quite a bit. Again, 25 guys off his board that went back to school.
Yeah, those Oregon defensive linemen, man. They went back, and that really sucked because their defensive tackle was really good, too.
And real quick, I think the biggest is Mark Fletcher, the running back at Miami
yeah.
that has a Derrick Henry stiff arm.
Yeah.
He could have come out this year.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And, I mean, I just keep coming back to the players we're hearing about and the players we're not hearing. We talked a little bit earlier about Mekhi Lemon. I am shocked that we never heard about a Zion Young 30-day. And we don't always get all the Chiefs 30-day visits publicly reported. He wasn't at the Mizzou local combine day that they have where they can, like, do local visits. He had a DWI. He was involved in that Michigan State incident. Like, that's a player you'd bring in on a 30 visit, and he's super Spags coded. We haven't heard about that.
Yeah.
Like, that just wouldn't shock me at all. Like, going back to the question about Folk or Messidor at 29, like, if they're in that area, like, I'll be shocked if Keldrick Folk is there, but I would just rather plug in Zion Young in that area.
I would love Zion Young. It was funny. He's like, we had Matt McMullen in studio here. Was it 2 weeks ago? And it was 3 weeks ago now.
First one.
He was the first one. And he comped him to Charles Omenihu.
There you go.
I think is a great comp.
Yep.
And, you know, here's the thing about that one, though. You know how they like to do. There's always a guy or two, especially high, that is not someone that they talk to very much at all that ends up being taken. We hear it all the time. Oh, I didn't talk to the Chiefs at all. You know, like if they go Zion Young.
Kelsey's one of those guys.
Kelsey was one of those guys.
Rasheed Rice is one of those guys. Nobody had them connect with Rasheed Rice because if you remember, there was a couple of years ago that Mahomes was doing like videos and throwing passes to draft prospects, and we heard about all these ones.
It was the Camp Pat with the prospects. So
and then
he was there.
And he was there, and you're like, oh, SMU, like Texas, all the connections, they make sense, but we never heard about it until after.
Because Camp Pat was at SMU, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was in Dallas, at SMU, I agree with that. Here's the one thing, though, that I find interesting is, like, him, like Zion Young, T.J. Parker's interesting. Outside of those, I mean, if you're going to go D-line that late, I mean, that's where you would start looking at some of those defensive tackles, too. That's when you, like, you know, Caleb Banks, as you brought up and as you put on your mock at 40. He would be interesting as well. I wonder if at 29, maybe the Chiefs get a little risky there with Caleb. Because you know somebody early second round is going to be looking at him and be like, hey, you know, let's see if we can get ahead of a team like the Chiefs because the comp is Chris Jones. We know Chris Jones is in his early 30s now, getting up there in age. So you got to think about that. I wonder if maybe at 29, instead of going edge, they get risky and they take a guy like Caleb Banks.
Yeah, Banks scares me, man. The injuries and all those things.
The foot scares me a lot.
And the want to also scares me a little bit about, you know, how locked in is he at all times when he's on the field and the run defense. Because, I mean, you're not drafting him to be this big run defending nose tackle, a guy who's going to come in and stop the run. I wonder a little bit about some of this kind of like, you know, we talked a little about Malachi Lawrence from UCF. He's a guy who brings some things that they wanted from FAU, where it's like we have more speed to power. He can rip off the edge, but he's not a nothing against the run. You know, we mentioned Gabe Akis out of Illinois. He's one of my favorite guys because he can't put his hand in the dirt. He can stand up. He was asked to play in a 3-4 defense. Freaksless guy, 2-time state champion wrestler. Like, I love his profile. He plays so physical. He was asked to do a lot against the run in that defense, considering like his body type and his size. So I would not be surprised if they spring for any of those guys, or whether it be Christian Miller from Georgia, who we talked about.
That's Big's guy. Big loves Christian Miller.
Give you some 3, give you some 5, give you a little 7, sprinkle some 7.
He's probably more so a 3 and a 1, but he loves Christian
everywhere.
Miller.
Yes, yeah. And Georgia loves. I feel like Georgia just does that to flex on people. They're like, hey, look, like we can do whatever we want to these guys with Michael Williams or whatever.
Michael was everywhere. Yeah. He was basically like a hybrid edge defensive tackle. He was all over the place. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Any more questions?
Well, there's a few saying that they hate when I say nil instead of NIL.
Yeah, I hate when you say it too.
Yeah.
It's NIL.
There's some things that don't need to be abbreviated, you know?
Just say NIL.
It's
He always says nil, and I think soccer, and I hate when they say it in soccer because it's like that's just how the British say zero in sports. It's not that's not a soccer.
And there's some
term.
sarcastic ones that clearly tell what position they want. So it doesn't matter whom you draft at receiver if Mahomes is always running for his life.
But
Obviously,
Mahomes is not going to be running from his life. If he's running from his life with this offensive line, then clearly their offense is not well designed.
Yeah, it's just like how many offensive lines in the NFL have 5 players that you feel amazing about?
Very few, if any.
You know, again, I come back to like the easy copy and paste narrative is like, oh, the Chiefs they've lost they lost the Super Bowl every time their offensive line is bad. Well, also they've won Super Bowls with Andrew Wiley and Stefan Wisniewski.
Yeah. Special thanks to Price Carter from Arrowhead Addict for joining us in studio.
Thanks,
we
Price.
appreciate having you on.
It's been a pleasure, fellas.
Yeah,
Happy
it's
draft
been
day
great.
Eve.
Special thanks to Bink for reading those text messages and doing the mock draft roundup, and also for being a great co-host. Jackson, all the hard work on the other side you did today. Appreciate your work. This is Character Concerns NFL Draft Special. We'll see you tomorrow night.
You're listening to the Character Concerns Draft Special with Jay Binkley and Chris Unacero. Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Trusted in Kansas City since